Happy New Year, Metaflora family, and welcome to the fourth episode of Beyond the Haze. Let's get started.
Metaflora Unfiltered presents Beyond the Haze. Welcome to Metaflora Unfiltered. Unfiltered. Trip. Canna Claus.
Metaflora unfiltered flow. Canna Claus tripped let her know. Gather chain 3 times, let's go. Get the smoke rolling up, start the show. Metaflora unfiltered flow. Canna Claus tripped let her know.
Yeah, very much so. We have a lot of awesome artists here tonight to bring in the new year for us all. We have a playlist that we're going to be putting together here for you guys. You can check that
Get your
out
groove
there.
on.
So, for this holiday, get your groove on for this
That's
New
it.
Year's
It's going to be an interesting
celebration.
2025, that's for sure. We're gonna keep taking it beyond the haze. That's and see how farther we can go and what more we can explore with this great plant. And I see some incredible things coming in this year as far as potential rescheduling for the United States. Perhaps, I saw a proposal recently that was just totally eliminating it from federal control whatsoever and leaving it up to each individual state, which I think would be that sounds like a very good option too. But something's going to happen there for sure. And there's going to be far more normalization of it in the entire world once it starts to be more normalized in a government level in the United States. So our work as a podcast is just beginning, right? Our mission to medicate legally the world, at least in my opinion, is on its way, and I think it's going to be a banner year for it.
Yeah, 100%. Beyond the Haze, our first few episodes have been absolutely amazing, and we have so much more lined up in 2025.
I'm going to be doing it with my HiBear that came in stoner colors, which is really
Very nice.
cool.
Right.
Somebody got a
I took
Christmas
it
gift.
apart. I'm not going to do all that now, but I took it apart and had a look at the components of it. And man, this thing is not just a water bottle. It's a machine. It's a tool. It's
That's right.
Completely.
It's going to take. It's sturdy, let me tell you, and it's going to take a little bit of time for me to fully appreciate all the different things that I can do with it. I can see there's incredible potential for me to do things here, and I can't wait in the new year to get into it and put all the new neat things that I'm going to come up with this thing out here to show people how to use it and how to enjoy it. Because, man, I love it already, and I haven't even taken one sip out of it yet. So, Tripto, what do you see in your future for coming 2025?
Well, for me, we have a huge announcement. Our nodes are going to be running throughout 2025. Everything's been tested already. Everything's been put through the ringer. Our partners at LFG, they've been doing amazing work putting together our workload. Shout out to Gingerbread Man as well. He's been hard at work putting this whole thing together for the community, making sure everything's running correctly without a hiccup. And this is going to be absolutely monumental. With our partnerships with Deep, decentralizing everything right in the safety of your own home. Everything from our website to our database, you name it. All this is going on chain, and we couldn't have done it without this community. We're super stoked to be launching the initial phase with the seed emissions, which you'll be getting on a daily basis for running those nodes. And then once we get to TGE, that token generation event, we'll be claiming your seed into Flora tokens. So yeah, we got huge year coming up. This is only the beginning. The the next host or the next guest that we're going to be having on Beyond the Haze is going to blow you away. We're like literally blasting off into space, sending up seeds and rosin and flour on SpaceX rockets, the
Can't wait
Falcon
for that
9,
one, man.
doing research studies in Slovenia.
I know. I have
Like
so many
You
questions.
know,
far
yeah,
out,
it's
dude. Literally. I have so many
yeah.
questions, and I really hope that the end result of all of this is that I personally get to sample some space weed. Yeah, yeah. It's sort of my end goal for all of this is
Well,
choose me.
yeah, right. Yeah,
Well,
and additionally from that too, we have an amazing lineup of musicians from now until the end of this season. The amount of quality that we're getting attention from is absolutely mind blowing. I want to thank you, Space Bar, and even our upcoming guest here, Allie. She's been an amazing help. I've been going back and forth with her through the DMs, and she's been helping line up artists for us to have on the show as well. If you don't know yet, which you probably all do, but Allie M, she's a New England native. I discovered her through Gallup Music and Love Crumbs with the old Lansing New Year's song, which I've been, my favorite rendition is from Fish, and that's the version that I always hear in my head. But when they came out and they dropped this track for free, I believe it was last Christmas. It just really stuck. It's a go-to track for me for New Year's Eve, and we'll be playing that later on.
What do you
she's
Space Bar? What do you
she's a powerhouse, that's for sure.
you got in the works?
Yeah, what's up with you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. First and foremost, this has been an awesome experience so far. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I'm looking forward to all the fun stuff kind of coming up. I've had an opportunity to learn a ton. I mean, episode 3 with Yohai was just mind blowing, and just being able to sit and listen to that was pretty amazing. So kind of want to focus on just making sure I can be a support to Beyond the Haze and make sure that I do my end to keep the level of production up to the quality of level of guests that you guys are all bringing in. A lot of music stuff coming up too. I think Tripto, we talked about maybe an Earthlings episode here because myself and Phase 1, we've got a big metaverse build coming out. Kind of have a whole idea of how we envision Web3 as an artist and a fan, and the experience and interaction between them. So I'm hoping from that end of things, it's a pretty big year on kind of product rollout and project rollout from our end. But other than that, I'm just trying to enjoy it all. Like life gets crazy, life gets busy. I got 3 kids, I run a business. All of this is my passion. Like without any of this, my sanity doesn't stay where it is. So for me, it's just keeping the machine humming of a equal balance of life, of doing what's important, prioritizing the family, doing what I love doing, and contributing to shows like this, making music, and kind of maybe being a part of the new wave of how music is put out and released with the whole Web3 stuff. And then, it's kind of more, like Ali said, more of the same, hopefully some new stuff. But all that means is everything right now is it's good. I got no complaints. Life is good. And I'm just trying to keep it that way and enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah, you mentioned the metaverse that you guys are building. Has anybody seen these leaks of the build out yet?
Few people. Yeah,
we've walked, and I was absolutely blasted by it. I couldn't believe what you guys have built there.
I appreciate that.
Really next level stuff, man.
That's the goal. Yeah, I mean, we put it's really the concepting and storyboarding behind it, and the whiteboard has been 2+ years in the making between me and Phase 1. We're probably approaching almost a year or so on implementing, actually building out the technical side of it all. And now we're kind of rapidly approaching the phase where we get to put that MVP out and start experimenting in it. You know, you've seen it, and about 2 or 3 other artists have seen it. We have not showed it to a lot of people, but I'd love to use this platform as an opportunity to tell everybody about it and what it is and
I
kind of
can't
what
wait
we've
to
built
see
so
it. I
far.
know
Because it's
you're
really just the beginning.
you're
You
a
know,
creative guy, and
nice. I appreciate that. Well, and it goes hand in hand with all of this, like you had mentioned. You know, Canna Claus brand products, Metaflora brand products. You know, we hope we built a way for artists to actually not only just engage with fans, where fans get much more out of a relationship with an artist than ever before, but also monetize. That's, you know, like if an artist can learn to monetize their, I mean, that's a lot of work that goes into whether it's a product that you probably have years upon years of research into, whether it's music that you've got years of background and time and grind into. That's what we all are kind of here to do, is learn how to build a self-sustainable system that gives value to the fans and the people that support us, and allows us to continue to add value into the systems that we've built.
it's good. It's good when artists, particularly music artists, can monetize because you know, they used to make a certain amount of
Absolutely.
money on radio. That kind of, you still get that, but the listenership is down, so the payouts are down. You used to get a certain amount from selling physical albums or CDs. That doesn't really happen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and the payouts for listenership on platforms is extremely low, right?
It's not sustainable especially for the meat and potatoes of who the artists are.
So, kudos to you for helping them actually maybe make a living being an artist. That would be great. And I know that us as fans want to see that too. We don't necessarily, you know, we always are like,
Totally.
Yeah.
it's a shame that person still has to whatever, right? Because they should be able to work.
Yeah, it's actually like surprising from the listener's point of view. It's like, wow.
And for me, 2025, well,
Yeah.
it's going to be a support. We're planning on it being a life changing year for us, leaving Niagara and moving up to Manitoulin. We're going to do some investigating on that in the next month. Maybe go for a visit up there and have a look at a property up there. And if we get it, if we decide to make that jump, which I think we're 99% sure we're going to make it, but you know, and you haven't bungee jumped until you've actually jumped. You can be standing there with the bungee attached to your legs and still right at the last second say, nope, I'm not doing it.
And what you got to tell everybody what your plans for this place is too.
Depending on which property we get, but one of the ideas on Manitoulin Island is to not this coming summer, obviously, but the following one is to have a cannabis camp, a 1 week long
Okay.
Heck yeah.
adventure for people. You know, 6 nights, 7 days, and the days are filled with various activities. So we would teach about the plant, about growing the plant maybe on one day, making hash on another day, various things like that, right? Edible.
Well, if you ask me, you need to go to this route. You know,
That's a great
the
idea.
cannabis tourism and this type of thing is that's what the community wants. That's what the culture wants. You know, I mean, I know our community at Metaflora, that's what they're looking for as well. And I'm like a big proponent of this sort of thing with Elysium being built out and having, you know, this entire thing with all the Mac artists and bringing them to have that live music at Elysium. But also just having that connoisseurship transfer into a real life location. You know, I'm just saying, Clark, that I would like to, you know, continue doing work with you as you open up this project of yours in Canada and have that type of collaboration.
And part of that would
you know,
be
just going across the board. You know,
I have plans up there now. Where we're planning on moving is it takes almost 7 hours to drive there from here. So it's quite far up north. It's an island at the top of Lake Huron. And this property has 90 plus acres of woods attached to it. So things like internet, we would probably have to go with a Starlink system up there. But that allows me to be anywhere on the property, of course. So when we get it, we're going to reinvest into getting a better studio space for Canna Claus. Right now, we're in a temporary one while we get this house ready to sell it. So, you know, I want proper cameras, proper sound, proper background, a better setting for me to sit in. And that will probably also be out in the woods at the camp, right? And it'll allow me to show more and do more of what Canna Claus can help people with, maybe better little segments that we can come up with on how to grow, or making some cookies, or, you know, concentrates, tinctures, things like that. So those are my plans for the future, and to find other ways to enhance the viewer experience here on Beyond the Haze. Like, I know soon we're going to have some submissions for stupid pot tricks coming in, I'm sure. And we'll get going. I believe episode 5 was our target for the first one. And then, so that'll be fun. And expanding this, and I'm sure there's you know, there's going to be new sponsors coming on we're talking about and stuff, so I'm excited about all of that, and building this brand out as well. So that's what the future holds for me.
Fantastic.
I think in 2025.
Very exciting. Well, we've also got 3 artists on this episode that we're looking forward to speaking to. We have an opportunity to chat with Crypto Lion and LionHeart Entertainment, Ali M, and Louis King. All of them gala artists, but much, much more. So we'll have an opportunity to learn about not only what they are doing and have done in gala, a little bit about them outside of the gala platform. And like you just mentioned, what does their 2025 have on the docket for everybody? Because I know I'm excited for that.
Our upcoming guest here, Ali, she's been an amazing help. I've been going back and forth with her through the DMs, and she's been helping line up artists for us to have on the show as well. If you don't know yet, which you probably all do, but Ali M, she's, you know, a New England native. I discovered her through Gala Music and Love Crumbs with the Old Lansing New Year's song, which I've been, you know, my favorite rendition is from Fish, and that's the version that I always hear in my head. But when they came out and they dropped this track for free, I believe it was last Christmas, it just really stuck. It's a go-to track for me for New Year's Eve. And we'll be playing that later on.
So with that, we're going to start this off with Ali M.
Yeah. So what's new with you for the New Year's? Do you have a show coming up?
We have a show on New Year's. So
Awesome.
last couple of years we've played there. It's Northampton, Massachusetts is a college town. It's about an hour from me. We actually all live about an hour from each other, Mike, Steve, and I. The band right now is just the 3 of us. We're a trio.
Okay.
So we've restructured. We've had a few incarnations of this band. We did start out as a trio. We were very folky at the beginning. We had an upright bassist. And then when we would get like festival gigs, we would just hire a drummer and a bassist and maybe a female backup singer or whatever. We then had an incarnation as a full band, but it didn't work out, unfortunately. So now we're playing, which is funny. It's actually Mike and his brother, Steve. And 12 years ago, we were in a different band together called Infinite August.
Okay.
And we haven't all played together as the 3 of us since then. So it's been really cool to kind of like go full circle and play with them. We'll probably do the same thing, like for a bigger show, we'll hire a drummer and bassist if we haven't found one. It's tough to find, especially a rhythm section that's not already in a ton of bands. Because like it's really easy to find guitarists. It's not that hard to find singers, but rhythm sections are more in demand. So, you know, you want to find someone that's going to be available enough to, like, you know, not have their schedule all blocked off. And you kind of got to find people, like, in a serendipitous way, like between a project. Oop, I lost my AirPod. You know, they kind of got to be between 2 projects or maybe just, like, moved back from somewhere. You know, not that no one can be in more than one band, but if you're a lot of guys I know are in, like, multiple bands. I really don't know how they juggle it all. You know, I could do max about 3.
Yeah.
One original band, and then I'll do some cover gigs and stuff here and there. But even that I had to cut back on last year, just because I didn't want to black out dates that Love Crumbs could get something good, you know, a festival or just a great show somewhere, and then have to play like the same bar I've played for 15 years, you know, for 150 bucks or something. I do love singing covers. Like, I never really want to stop. There's something about it that I like. I don't know. It just like keeps me humble and grounded, I think, to just have to play weird gigs where it's like no one's paying attention, or maybe everybody's paying attention in a small little place. Like,
Yeah.
Either way, it just thickens the skin, I think. As an original band, usually people are like very tuned in and listening and paying attention. But I think it's good for you to have a little variety.
It's a rite of passage to play a show for nobody. I've
for sure.
back in the day when I was doing small tours and stuff, you'd have those sprinkled in there, and it's, yeah, you have to go through it. 'Cause
Yeah.
then you just get, I mean, you know, like, we'd always look at it like, all right, this is a practice session. This is a practice set. You know, there's things you'll talk about, especially if you're kind of on like a 2-3 week tour where you're like, oh, we should try to do this next time or try to do that. And then you roll
Yeah.
into some small, tiny little bar, which usually the people are amazing. The ones that are there, they're fucking awesome. You get to know
Yeah.
all of them at a whole different level, and they kind of get to know you as an artist just personally. But you got to go through that where you're just like, get over the hump of, hey, there's nobody here. Oh, well, we're still going to
And
do
you
our
play
thing. We're still going to
with
get
the same
better
amount
for
of
the next
energy
show.
you would as if it's
Yeah.
a full house, right? Because you're gonna have that
to. Absolutely.
single dude
Yeah.
that would be standing there at 3 a.m, banging his head in front of the stage while no one else is there. You might be there. That dude
Yep.
might be there, and then just, yeah, it's you.
That's me.
And then they might jump on social media now and go on about how great you are, and 50, 60, 70 people might check out how great you are, and then they'll all be there next year when you come back,
Yeah, you never know.
right? So I've
Yeah.
seen that a lot.
Yeah, I know. I think if you think about it too, like the opening bands, sometimes like they have just a real lean crowd, or just a crowd who's like so ready for the headliner that they're kind of like, yeah, whatever. And I think like if you don't have some of these kinds of experiences before that, it's probably hard, you know, like get your feelings
Oh, for
hurt.
sure.
And there's not much that I feel like I can get my feelings hurt musically anymore. You know, it's like I just been through it all. I don't take it personally. And sometimes I actually like, I don't know, liven up a little bit when there's like hardly anyone left somewhere or whatever. It's just like, okay, this is just fun. It's like paid practice. It's fun. Can let go a little more. So yeah, but what we're doing this year for New Year's, we've been doing the last couple, and it's cool. Northampton's a college town. It has Smith College. That's like the 5 college area, which is UMass Amherst, Amherst College, Smith, Hampshire, and Mount Holyoke. So there's like a real nice art scene out there. And Northampton itself is like this beautiful park and just all kinds of small listening room type of venues. It just reopened a great venue called the Iron Horse. And so I forget how many bands play, but all day long from, I want to say like 1 or 3 o'clock till a little after midnight, they just have bands all over, staggered all over the town. They got a ball that they don't drop. They bring it up. They do the opposite for whatever reason. I don't know why. They do fireworks and stuff, but we're playing, it's like the 3rd floor of an indoor kind of like high scale mall type of building, but it's right where everybody gets their badges. You buy a badge
Okay.
and then you get to go see everything the entire night. So it's a packed little spot. And I think they use it as a yoga studio. It's like the sanctuary, but it's a big, cool room, looks out over the city and stuff. So we're playing there at like 5 o'clock. I'm going to bring my son and then you just get to go see bands all day. It's pretty awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
My cat's real.
No, it's all good.
Not controllable. She does not listen. She's like,
Those music setups are always fun when you kind of, like they spread an event out, whether it's a day event or a weekend event, kind of out throughout a district or an area. I love doing
Yeah.
those. We used to play a couple of them down in the Atlanta area. A3C was like a hip hop festival that is the same type of deal.
Yeah.
I obviously grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So we have Summerfest here, which is just massive. That's kind of the original concept of it. Like here, just all day concerts, all night concerts, have at
Yeah.
it. But no, that's cool. That's cool. You're right in the front too. So you're going to be the first thing everybody walks by. It's a good spot.
It's like you got to go right there. 5 o'clock is a good time too, because some people with kids come during the day, but that's sort of like the time when a lot of people show up for the second round. But so that'll be our first gig, just with with Steve, so that's exciting. They do it again in March. They do one all weekend called Back Porch Festival, which is the other thing we have on the books. And Lucinda Williams is headlining, who I love.
Nice.
Do you guys know Lucinda Williams at all? She's alt country, alt
Yeah.
folk, I guess.
I've heard her name. Yes.
She's got a really
How do they call it? Back porch?
distinctive
'Cause
voice.
People
She's got
play
like
it
a
on
really
actual
cool
porches.
So there are a lot of these
Is it
porch
the
festivals
genre?
now. Massachusetts is very, very, yeah. I don't, it might originally have been because of that. I'm not sure. We played last year in in a brewery,
Okay.
but we don't know yet where we're going to play there. But yeah, Northampton's been good to us. They, the head of the Arts Council has a radio show, so we were just on that last week, and he's just like a big fan of ours and hooks us up with some nice spots.
Be them one location all day festivals, or there's one called In the Soil that they do in the middle of the summer, and it's not just music, but you might be a play going on at one place, or spoken
cool.
word, or comedian, or even just a jam where, the musicians who play one band, one venue, and then they have a different band playing another venue where they're playing solo later in the day. They'll be like, oh, I'll pop in and have a coffee or a drink and jump up on stage and play as well. So there's all kinds of neat stuff that goes on here with that, because it's obviously a large tourist district. And we have wineries and stuff as well. So they have festivals that they try to bring people to and promote them. And then we have down by the falls, local bands play down there as well. Free for the tourists kind of thing. And then, of course, the casinos. So there is music everywhere. I think, if you are planning on attracting people to your thing and you don't have music, you probably are not going to attract people to your thing. Like
That's
the
right.
soundtrack.
I know.
Yeah.
You better have
It's
a good
true.
jukebox.
Speaking of which,
That's right.
should we hear some music?
Yeah, let's hear
Sure.
some music.
All right. You want to tell us a little bit about the song you sent over, the Spiral acoustic version?
Yeah, so Gala did a contest with Label Radar, which I think Label Radar kind of veers EDM mostly. I know that there
believe
are
so.
other bands, yeah. But they did a contest, so anyone that was already part of Gala or not could send in a song to submit. And we didn't have anything like ready to go. We didn't have like a full band recording, but Mike and I just kind of like zoomed down to our friend's studio and he wrote the song and we recorded it like 3 days later. But I really love it, and now I'm excited. We'll probably put it out acoustic, I think, next month.
Okay.
But and then re-record it with a full band.
Yeah.
We'll do like the Gala exclusive acoustic version, and then do another one for the next
Very
for the
nice.
album. I think, yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Well, on that note, here is the acoustic version of Spiral.
Here we are again. Can we not pretend? It's not the first time, not the last time that I swore to myself I'd get clear again. Even when the dark light's gone, baby, I just want you home. Spiral, but it's not the first time, so I've been taking it slow. Worst in a long line, guess there's just nothing left below. Lost for a long while, guess you just knew I had to go. You spiral. Know you've been praying for me. I know we lost our friend. The means to the ends, means to pretend. No meaning again, we spiral. But it's not the first time, so I've been taking it slow. Worst in a long line, guess there's just nothing left below. Lost you for a long while, yeah, I guess you knew I had to go. We spiral. But it's not the first time, so I've been taking it slow. Worst in a long line, guess there's just nothing left below. Lost for a long while, yeah, I guess I knew you had to go. We spiral.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The acoustic, just stripped back version really kind of lets your range kind of come through, and just not even just the like the key range, things like that. You have such a unique vocal range. You can hit it really smooth, like you did kind of in the beginning, and then all of a sudden you just pick it up without even trying, and that grit kicks in, and it's just like, holy shit, where did that come from? But
Yeah,
yeah.
puts a smile on your face.
I really enjoyed that. Totally. And I haven't heard any other version of it
Thank
yet.
you. Thank you.
Beautiful.
So,
One
right
doesn't
on.
exist yet, so that's the
Yeah,
that's the
I would
first,
just keep
that's
it
the
like
first
that.
one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I know. I love it's kind of funny because I always like playing with like a big band behind me. My one of my first like real bands that we played a lot was a Grateful Dead band, and so there's it's a bigger band. There's a keyboard player. There's a couple singers. So I've always felt more comfortable with like a whole band behind me versus like the duo gigs. I mean, I do them, but I feel kind of more comfortable on stage. And I just like that, the full sound is a different vibe when you're playing for like a dancing audience, stuff like that. But even when we had the band like at its peak, like the full 7-piece band, there would always be people who are like, I really love when you do the stripped down, duo version. Like everyone, has their preferences, but what I like about Mike's songs is that they do sound really good both ways. Like they just all really sound good, whether it's just me and him acoustic or it's us with as full a band as he can get.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to be able to do both, like this is kind of nice. Like I won't even really mind if it stays like the pared down version of us and then we just go bigger for the bigger shows, kind of opens up how many gigs you can play. You can do different versions of the songs,
Yeah, it definitely does. I hear what you're saying too, because especially having been mostly a hip hop artist, usually we're just standing up there with a microphone and maybe a DJ. And back in the day, we toured with a live band, which was it was just a different atmosphere all around. Like it's specifically to the live show. It enhances it so much, especially coming from Ireland, area of people usually just being used to seeing somebody up there with a microphone kind of rapping at them for an hour. So having the live band to not only enhance the music, but just break up the interaction a little bit. You got more people to kind of interact with on stage and things like that. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, it drives a lot of energy that way too, that having the whole live band. But the full body sound that comes out of the duo, when you're listening to it, you completely forget there's only two people there. You know?
Yeah.
You're just like, wait a minute, all that sound was just them? Like, like you said, it's like, maybe you can just keep it that way. But we haven't heard the new version yet with the whole full sound behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, he writes songs that could go good both ways. Listening to that, there was parts where I'm like, I could totally hear build-ups here. I could hear a rhythm come in over this, where it's like, so I could see that definitely. But again, it's beautiful in the version that it is currently.
There's something about it that kind of reminds me a little bit. It's not quite as like minor but like Alice in Chains Unplugged, MTV
Mm-hmm.
Unplugged, that set, like I'm
Right.
like, oh, with just like even if it was still acoustics, like Mike and
Yeah.
Steve will both play acoustics sometimes, and it sounds awesome. But you can have a full band behind that too.
Right.
They do a on Sundays here. One of the radio stations does what they call the acoustic brunch. So,
Oh, nice.
if, for example,
That's
I was
cute.
driving to and from Santa gigs on a lot of Sundays, so I would put on the acoustic brunch, and you would hear things like Chris Cornell doing Soundgarden tunes, just him and a guitar, right? Which was ironically one of his last
Yeah.
concerts was here in Toronto, and they recorded it, and it was just him and a guitar.
Oh wow.
And he does
Nice.
Black Hole Sun. He does but then he does covers. Going back to what you were talking about earlier, that you like to do covers.
Yes.
Well, even the biggest names in the business still love to do covers, right? And they'll get up there, and we love
Mhm.
hearing them because
I know.
Definitely. That's the best part is people like paying homage to the ones that inspire them and taking songs from others and creating it as their own. And,
Yeah.
some people don't even know who the original artist was because they're passing around these songs so many times where, you're hearing it like as a staple of their own shows.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know if you guys saw the Grammys. I don't know if it was this last one or the one before, but where Tracy Chapman sang Fast Car, as well as was
Mhm.
it Luke Bryant or whatever the country singer was that had done a cover of it. And I guess I didn't know this because I don't pay tons of attention to what's going on with pop culture currently usually, but people were mad that he had covered it. They're like, no way, like you can't cover Fast Car. And she
Yeah.
was like thrilled because,
Yeah.
she
Right.
gets a lot, like it gets a big resurgence. And then they performed it at the
Yeah, I
Grammys
watched
together. It
that.
was so great.
I watched
But,
them.
I'm
I
not, like,
watched
much of
them
a-
perform. I
That's
saw a
cool.
recording
You watched
of
it
it. I
too?
didn't watch
Yeah.
it live, but I'm not a country fan, so I was not exposed to the fact that someone had covered
Yeah, I
it.
was gonna say.
So I thought they were paying tribute to Tracy Chapman at
Yeah.
the time, and thought, wow. I also thought to myself, what a shame that I haven't heard her name in 30 years. But she
Yeah, she-
I
chose
know.
that.
But
I
see,
still
that's what
play
was
her.
great.
People don't realize that. She came out, she did her
Yeah, she
song.
chose that, I think,
She,
maybe.
she was exposed to what hyper popularity is and said no thank you and stepped back, right? So
Not for me.
but then I guess she
respect
got a
it.
little older and she
Yeah.
thought, why not, let's see what happens. And that's really cool too.
Yeah. He might have pulled her out. I mean, that's the thing. I'm not much of like a pop country fan either, but I loved it when they played it together. It was nice. I liked that. I'm not much of a writer. I've only written 2 songs, the one with you and the other one I did with Robot Clinic that I recorded. I've written a bunch of songs, but
Yeah.
nothing that's been recorded. And, and there's probably like a little bit of a, not stigma, but, it's like, oh, you just sing, you don't write. You just sing, you don't write. Like there's kind of like a more gravitas, I think, put on people who write too. But for me, I'm like, I like interpreting other people's material. And I don't know if that's just because
absolutely.
I've sang covers for 27 years, really. But, this is the only original band I've ever been in, except for one little 3-month stint in Pittsburgh. I did like a garage punk band thing, but it wasn't really for me. I love those guys.
Two
but
of
I'm
the
like, I'm not a
Beatles
punk
didn't
singer.
make.
Come on, look at me.
Hey?
Well, you've been doing
I don't
a
know.
lot
You
of
got-
new
you-
stuff
yeah.
though.
You're
You
trying
know,
to
Yeah,
especially
now.
when my gosh.
No. So doing, recording with people and writing has been great, but for my performing life, it's like I've always been singing other people's songs, even the original band. It's like I'm singing Michael's songs, but I don't mind. I like doing it. And you can't two different people sing one song. My cat. Two different. She's really being fresh today. 2 different people singing one song. The song can be so different. So I don't mind that. I like it. I love singing stuff that people know too, and especially if it makes them, think about a time they saw that song be performed somewhere. It's moving. So I like hearing people say they like covers too.
So, like we were just kind of saying, you've obviously got a decent amount now of features with other gala artists, and as you're expanding your genres here, are you finding yourself kind of gravitating towards anything new one way or another? I mean, even counting backwards was, I don't even know what genre we could necessarily even put that in. It was kind of out of everyone's box, but because you're getting great feedback on all the new stuff coming out, so I'm just curious if it's from your side of things, is it something you hear and you're like, yeah, absolutely, fuck yeah, let's embrace this, or if it's one of those things where you're like, I'm still kind of getting comfortable with the new, just coming out of my box.
I love it. I mean, to me, I'm just kind of labeling it all like electronica. It's like there's the guitar band, and then there's like all this new stuff. Because I guess the first one I did there, Comatose with Robot Clinic, was like trip hop, pretty straight. And then with you guys, the collaboration with the three of us, you're right. Like I have no idea what to call that, but I love that kind of music. I mean, I graduated in 1999, so it was like trip hop and all that stuff. Like DJ Shadow and Portishead and Tricky. That was my stuff. Like that's what I really listened to when I was late high school and early college years. But I also loved grunge. I also loved classic rock. So getting to do all of it is like, it's perfect for me. I mean, the more genres I can sing and sing capably, I feel like the better for me, because it'll infuse into everything else I do. I have been kind of doing the same thing for a long time. When I was younger, I sang a lot of blues and a lot of raspy stuff. And then I actually damaged my voice, not damaged, but I hurt my voice during COVID, but it wasn't COVID. I just had a really bad respiratory infection, and I coughed and coughed and coughed and coughed. And I got something called muscle tension dysphonia, where basically all the muscles around your vocal cords constrict so much. Like I completely lost my voice for a while. I couldn't even really talk as easily, but forget singing. Like there was just no range at all. And I had to get, so I got a laryngoscopy, which is pretty rough. Like they go through your nose, down, and then they have you talk and sing and do all kinds of stuff. They scope it and they're like, okay, well, all you have is that. Luckily, you don't have any nodules, no pads, but you need vocal therapy. And what a godsend it was, because basically it was insurance paid, heavy duty, like voice lessons. It's vocal therapy, but like within 2 months, she had me back singing. And I mean, my range increased so much. I have like a 3.5 octave range, and it was probably compressed down to about 2 before I did this therapy. But she was like, listen, you got to use the rasp as an accent, not a feature, or you're not going to be singing when you're 60. It's up to you, but that's what I would do. And I took her advice to heart. So, which is funny, because everyone used to say, Janice, you sound like Janice, you sound like Janice. And then as soon as I phased it out and started singing without as much rasp, now everybody says Stevie. So I'm like, I'm not going to complain, because they're two of my favorite singers that I'm just lucky, to sound like to some degree. But so that's what's kind of gone on with my voice. Is I just had to reconfigure everything when that happened, but what's nice about not rasping as much and having the bigger range is for the electronic music. I feel like if you think about Portishead, like she had so much of that high, Beth Gibbons had that high, beautiful, flute-like voice. Basically, it was so clear and pure, which I can achieve now, and I couldn't before that happened. But then also, like, I love the lower, more gravelly, range of my voice in that music too. Yeah.
Which is, it's important from that end, because those songs are dynamically so much more full. So for you to find your pocket, you have to have more of a range. You can't kind of just live in that middle, because you'll probably, get drowned out by how much tends to be going on in those songs.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the best things about Gala for me, was all the artists I've become friends with there and have been able to collaborate with. Recording is a little bit tough for me, because I don't have a free way to record. I'm so I wish I had learned much earlier, like started learning Pro Tools and just getting myself set up for that. I just never thought to do it. And now I'm so jealous, of people who can kind of do everything under one roof, rather than having to go pay at a studio, because it is expensive. But I don't want to do it like half-ass either and have it be
for sure
quality. I'd rather go pay and get it perfect. But yeah, I've had a lot of nice opportunities, for sure.
And for an artist like yourself too, it allows you, when you're in the studio, which is basically when you're trying to capture magic, to focus on one thing.
I know.
Because that's the one thing is trying to, and I've done it that way forever, where it's like, I'm my own engineer, producer, artist, all that stuff. And you find yourself focusing on so many other things outside of kind of what I feel the artist is there to do. It's like, no, just find your zone, find, this song that you're inside of, whatever you're looking for, and focus on that. So there's definitely a benefit to doing it the way
we have
you're
a lot
doing
of musician friends and producer friends and stuff here as well. And I have a couple of them have full recording studios in their basements, and they also have bands that record, and they go to other people's recording studios to record their music. They won't do it at home.
Yeah.
Specifically for
Yeah,
that
really?
reason, you can focus, right? If you're at home, your cat comes in, your kid comes in, your wife, your husband, whatever, knocks on the door. When you're recording somewhere else, it gets more respect, I guess, than when you're at home, because it's home, right? It's every day. So,
Yep. And more efficient. I'm sure if I was trying to do it myself, I'd be like, what do I like to redo things a lot. I'm a perfectionist in the studio. I don't take forever, but I can tell when I just need to get like coverage, I'll be like, let me do another take. They'll be like, we got it. And I'm like, let me just do one more. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how I like to do things. Just have a lot of options to choose from. So
That's right.
yeah.
So outside of, I know you got a song coming up, I think Crypto Lion and LionHeart did a remix that's coming up with you and Spencer. Yep. We got a chance
he sent me, what was that called? Trap, that style? Spencer sent that to me and asked if I could come up with a hook. So I came up with something. I've never done it. That's another one that I'm like, wow, I've never sang anything like this before. But
yeah, that sounded good. That was fun to listen to.
That was really cool.
They sent that over in the Mac forum, and I've been listening to it in my car for the past 4 or 5 days.
That's awesome.
Stop on repeat.
Nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
So funny. Yeah, that's another one. It's like I would never have thought I'd be singing on that kind of a song, and I'm like, this is so fun. Like it's just so fun to try new things musically. And it's not even that I'm bored doing the other stuff. It's just like I said, like it's just fun to add variety to the thing that you love to do, and it's probably like when a painter like picks up sculpting or something. It's like just to get a little different perspective on what you do the most, maybe.
Yeah. So being a New Year's show, and obviously New Year right around the corner, what are your plans for 2025 from the music side of things? What are you areas of focus? Anything you're trying to set as a goal, or anything we can expect?
I think, if I'm talking about goals, my big goal is to have a portfolio of songs and somehow, if I can get lucky enough, break into sync. Because I think it's funny, actually, Emily Lazar, who's from Gala also, kind of seeded this thought into my head. And she's like, when you sound like someone as iconic like you do, there's so many like lower budget channels on TV, and like, there's even like low budget Netflix stuff where they're not going to go and pay Fleetwood Mac $100,000 to use their song. But they want something that kind of sounds like her,
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you can sing all these different genres. She's like, you should just put a portfolio together. And if you can find anyone, which I have some friends that either are still adjacent or were in the music industry, like in the past, if you can find someone with a connection in publishing, you might be able to get, even if they just get one song in there, like you could start to have that as a career. Because the truth is, at 43, it's like, touring with a band, I could do it, but I don't necessarily want to do it as much as I would need to do it to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
So with music, it's like, you guys know, well, at least Spacebar, it's like you've got, with the NFT thing has been great. Like Gala, when it was like really cooking, we did so well there, and it was an amazing, not just like the money that we were able to make to put into recording, but the fans that we made there. Like it's there's something different about it. As much as like it's great to play for people live, and you meet people, a lot of times you never see those people again because you're just in random places. But with the Discord and the constant engagement, I don't know, it's been really, really great. I really, really enjoy that aspect of the Web3 thing. And then so I would like to get into sync, and by having Gala as this like just right in my back doorstep, I have all these different people that play different genres, being able to do recording projects with them, And then, you know, with Michael and with a few other people I know that write, I think I'm just going to start, you know, putting that portfolio together. Obviously want to keep playing like bigger and better gigs. You know, if we get some more festivals this year, we did a couple last year. That would be amazing. And then just probably the process of recording our album over again. We have to actually re-record an album, not my parts and not Mike's parts, but we need to get the rest of the album recorded. So we're working on trying to fund that and being able to finally put that out, because it's been like 3 years in the making. So that's the goals for 2025. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
More of the same and a little extra, I think.
Yeah, the sync idea is a great idea.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool, really fun. I found out like they actually put out these lists for seasons where it'll have like keywords, and they want the people that are doing sync to like write songs with these keywords in there.
Yeah.
So it's almost like writing prompt type of thing, which is cool. So, and doing it with a few different people, I think it'd be really fun. See how it
Very
goes.
nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Allie, for coming on the
Yes,
show. We have
welcome.
Old Lang Syne coming up, and we wish everybody a happy New Year's. And
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Thank you all very
Awesome.
much. We'll all see you
Happy
later.
New Year,
Happy New
everybody.
Year.
Happy New Year.
Thanks, you guys.
Peace.
Thanks for
Bye.
having me. See ya.
Up next, we have Crypto Lion, founder of LionHeart Entertainment, a nonprofit organization focused on emerging artists and supporting the communities around them. But before we jump into that, a quick video from our sponsor. I'm liking the sweatshirt.
Thank you.
I've only, God, I don't even remember who back in probably early 2021, I found somebody in Discord that had their own little mini Gala Music, like a clothing store, online store. And I ordered one from, I don't even remember who his name was. Some Gala gang. Yeah, it's the only one I've got. It's the only one I found.
It's hard to come by sometimes. You know?
Yeah, for real.
Sick.
The swag's important in Web3, you know?
Yeah,
It's
totally.
all about the swag. It's all about
It
the
is.
swag.
I have like multiple ones. I had gotten the music shirts before I left for Europe, and they never came in the mail. So I left and got to Romania, and all of a sudden my friends call me like, hey, so I got all these T-shirts in the mail for you. And I was like, man, I waited like 3 months for those, and now they're on the other side of the world. Now I'm in Florida. I'm like, what do I do? Do I go back? You know, I have some things to do back there anyway, but I need them for the show, you know?
Yeah,
I'm like,
100%.
I got to get them mailed out here, man.
Are they the color changing ones?
No, I don't have any of those, but I think Jesse, Gingerbread Man,
Yeah.
he's got those. You got
You've
one?
got you got the hookup, yeah. But everything's gonna go with you guys. I'm really excited about the whole Metaflora platform and ecosystem.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Thank
here,
you
man.
so much. And when I heard about LionHeart Entertainment, I was super stoked because
Yeah.
I've been watching the whole Gala Music platform, and to see a nonprofit enter the Gala Music platform for exactly what you're doing, and I was just like, man, this whole thing totally makes sense, right?
Yeah,
Dude, it was awesome work that you have going on over there. I really appreciate it, and I know the artists, I'm sure, appreciate it as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, the artists are always very like thankful for like anything, because like that's basically like why I started LionHeart Entertainment, was because like I've been involved with Gala Music just as a community member, and then like building a relationship with people through Discord and everything over the years. Like I got close with a lot of artists, and like, you know, you get to learn like their like shortcomings, like what is their difficulties, and it's all I heard was like Spotify metrics and numbers to be able to get like booked for tours and venues and all this and that, and I'm like, And now here I am, like, I'm not a record label, right? I'm a nonprofit I'm a nonprofit. So for me, it's like I know how to like host these like events, like charter these, like have these charity events. I'm like, well, how can I incorporate this with Gala Music? So I was like, let me come up with Lionheart Entertainment, where like not only am I going to enhance the emergent artists' lives, I can enhance the at-risk communities that surround them, like inspire and hope through music. And like if it wasn't for the Gala Music platform, none of us would have like came together and met. So I felt like it was kind of just like everything happens for a reason. Like I'm big with like, like the power of energy and manifestation and everything. I kind of just felt like everything kind of fell in line. And I was like, because at first I was like, let me try to get venues before I started Lionheart Entertainment. And like basically like places really didn't want to hear from me again. You know what I mean? So then like
Yeah.
once I had the nonprofit aspect and I was like, I want to build an at-risk veteran housing unit and I want to hold these check. Now they were willing to listen, like it piqued their interest. And like, well, they're like, how are you going to accomplish this? And I was like, through sponsors. That's like going to be the biggest thing, obviously. So like through
Wow.
sponsorships and like, I'm a heavy equipment operator by trade. So like like the American Legion that's building this is going to be the American Legion that we found, like we chartered in my own union. So like everything kind of corresponds and goes hand in hand because I'm involved with so many different entities and like faucets in life, I guess, if you want, like facets in life. That like I was like, how can I incorporate everything into one? So I was like, well, I've been involved with nonprofits for 20 years. I was like, I've been involved with Gala Music for like 3 years now. And I was like, I'm the commander of the American Legion for Post 532, which veterans of my union chartered like 8 years ago. So I just became president like 2 years ago. And like, being involved with
Nice.
nonprofits, like you could do so much. Like you can have clothing drives, food drives for like holidays, and that's all good, and that all does truly help. But the big thing is like, how can you really go in and make an impact on people's lives? And the thing is like, we have like 33,000 like homeless like veterans, and even more men, women, and children. And I feel like there should be none in the United States. And it's like, you know what, like
Exactly.
if I could play a small role in trying to like, even if it's like an 18 unit house first, right? Where I can have like attached to like the community YMCA for like social services and anything like that. But like if I can just do one, then it could be like a snowball effect. One turns into another. And there's already other nonprofits that are doing this as well. Like, so a lot of people are going into these American Legions because like they have properties, but their buildings are getting dilapidated. The membership's getting older. So they're like, we want to help you, but we want to build these at-risk veteran housing. So like that's how it first piqued my interest because I heard this other Legion doing it, and I was like, well, we could do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then now being involved with Gala Music, I was like, wow, it's like the perfect storm. And now I'm also involved with like the Prudential Center. So like that's a whole arena that like that's where like my focus is, like the main focus is to get to, but sometimes you got to start one spot and then work your way up to that.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like
Especially in the
being from
music business.
like being from New Jersey and like the Bay Shore, like I've always been like surrounded by like different like music scenes and like especially growing up near like Asbury Park and like all these different spots, and it's like there's a lot of venues, you know what I mean? And the thing is like there's not really that many good artists. And like I found on Gala Music is that like these artists, and I don't really like to using the term emergent because I feel like some emergent quote unquote artists are better than a lot of mainstream artists. And like
Yeah,
when I
for
hear
sure.
and when like I met a lot of these
100%.
artists like Ali from Love Crumbs or like Robo Clinic, City of Sound, September Morning, like all these groups, I'm like, I hate that term emergent. It's just that, some people just haven't had that chance to have that breakout moment. So like
Yeah.
what I want to do is like if I can at least help them get in front of like maybe the right person or like just get the building that fan base all while helping at-risk communities, I'm like it's a win-win for everybody. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's
It's the
kind of just
beauty
like
of
a
Web3.
no-brainer.
It's the beauty of Web3. We even talked to Robot Clinic yesterday and the inspirations about the Web3 community, and he was talking about this metaverse and building this brand identity, and like it just snowballed into an effect, like what was he good at and how does he want to put it into place. And it's very similar to what your story is here is, I have all these chess pieces that I know how to move, and here's this board game over here. So let's put everything together, and let me see where I can help out in this entire thing. And I mean, it resonates purely with how I created Metaflora as well. You know,
Yeah.
like what's being done right now is not being done in Web3, and it's not like this aha idea. Like, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just saying, hey, there's this community here, there's this technology over here, and this is what I'm good at. And I know this better than anybody else, so I'm the man in the front. And like, you know, and so
100%.
we want to take this to the most furthest point as we can. And seeing what you're doing on Gala Music is, you know, it's you're blazing a trail for the rest of the rest of Web3. All these people that are inspired by Web3 and using their skills alongside of what's being built out here is absolutely amazing. And yeah, dude, what you're doing is awesome.
And like, you know, I have an artist profile on Gala Music, so like I you know, do the collabs with the artists and I drop the tracks. So like then that money goes directly towards hosting these events. So like every track sale, like the artist, they do it out of the kindness of their hearts, and like I couldn't like thank them enough for that, because like, you know, it's time, and like time is money, and you know, time is just valuable, very precious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what's nice about the artists is they're always giving, you know?
Yeah.
It's always for the sake of the art and for the sake of the music, and
Yeah, 100%.
you know, it's all about spreading the love and you know, just
and it's
having
cool to
that
see,
live on,
like,
man.
how it's very similar to how talking to Robot Clinic, Metaflora, LionHeart, everyone's kind of building, like you said, everyone's trying to figure out the puzzle pieces of what we know and feel is coming, what this whole new kind of thing is kind of presented to us, you know, like it's really exciting on the back end, kind of being one of those groups trying to just figure it out, build and find an avenue and a way through it all, because that's exactly what everyone's doing. And then you see some of this stuff start to actually come together. And I mean,
Oh yeah.
we're all here today because we had, you know, some sort of insight and vision into, you know, realistically the Gala ecosystem that started to expand and got our minds running. And all of a sudden we're like, all right, I want to take it to the next level and not just be a fan. I want to participate in this, and I want to build with you guys.
It's like the most biggest thing is like the community, right?
Yeah.
And like that's what I try to express. Like, 'cause, like, you know, I went to Miami for Art Basel down there. So like, you know, I try to express to like other people like on Discord that like Web3 isn't just about like a token or an NFT. It's about the
100%.
community and like the networking and relationships. It's like that to me is priceless beyond anything else.
And we're unfortunately right now at the time where I feel like the community is the substance. It's the meat and potatoes of what Web3 actually is. But mainstream gets all the focus of the, you know, it's token and crypto. Everything that they don't see that lies underneath the sublayer is what it's building upon. And that's the exciting part. Once you actually dig in and see what these communities are about and how deep they go and how, I guess, quickly you can kind of get to know some pretty amazing people, because everyone's attitudes is we're here to build. We want to build together. We're stronger together. We're stronger in numbers. How can we work together? I really have not come across anybody yet, especially in this, you know, kind of area, who has been anything but accepting and if not even working with you, giving you advice on somewhere to go in the area, what to do. So it's going to be, and there's going to be a time where I think that pendulum flips, where people are going to realize that, holy shit, these communities that these people have built, these projects are building, are not only genuine and thorough, they're powerful. And by that time, guys like you are just going to have a footprint in it and rooted in it and be part of the story.
Yeah, I agree.
So what it's all about. For me, it's like building a legacy, right?
Yeah,
Because like the
100%.
thing is like, you know, we all know we live, we die, but the thing is like it's about building something that's gonna way outlast generations. You know what I mean? Because like to me, I was in a real bad motorcycle accident in 2019, and like things that I took for granted, like I just after I came to, like I had major surgeries. I'm missing like my kidney, my spleen. I had 2 discs replaced in my neck, destroyed my back, like 7 blood transfusions. It was like near death. You know what I'm saying? So like then like, you know, I'm a single father as well. So I have a 17-year-old. I was in the service. I'm a veteran. So like I had her young, but like, you know, it's me and her. And the thing is, after that motorcycle, I'm like, wow, like, yeah, there's life insurance and there's this and that, but like nothing could ever replace me. And then like even bigger, it was like I want to do something that's going to like make a significant difference. Like nobody knows how long we're going to be here for, right? So it's like
Right.
the time that we have is like precious. So it's like if we could just do stuff to even like for future generations, for our kids, our kids' kids, like so like just pave a path where like then they just have to continue to follow, then that's what it's all about. You know, like just that legacy basically.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of legacy too, it's a lot of people say, well, why metaflora? You know, there's why do we need to have this database for cannabis? You know, and as we start going through all the medical studies that are being released, and we start seeing this whole effect taking on, and we have all this brand new knowledge. Well, there's been data for decades that have never been recorded, or they're being taken behind closed doors, and there's no platform for it to really take shape in the public eye. And there was a project years ago that was trying to establish this on the cloud, and today it's no longer available and no longer accessible. So the blockchain is something where these seed breeders, even if you're doing something in your backyard, you don't have, you're not working for a multi-million-dollar company, but this is where the strains originated from the very, very beginning. So time stamping that and putting all your information onto the chain really solidifies your space into history, because we have AI coming out. You're not just going to get buried into a stack worth of data, and because you're not the one that's most used doesn't mean that you're not at the top of the list. It's not a Google search. We're triangulating different data points, and every single piece of data matters in the grand scheme of where we try to bring everything off to. So even if you're a home grower at home and you want to provide data on there, your name gets embedded into the history of cannabis, and we're talking music, but it's all the same. The technology is always there, and legacy is important to all of us. And just need to take it give it the most that we have while we're still here,
100%. And that's amazing how like you can keep the data log, because like I was a home grower. So for me, I like keeping a grow journal and a grow log. Like
Yeah.
those are very important, I mean, for like
Mhm.
tweaking certain things and everything. So for me, like you lose that, it's like you just lost like a year in notes for like, your
Yeah,
final
it's-
exam.
it's like-
Yeah, and they're handwritten.
Losing a
You're
heart-
going to lose
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Or there's a fire, there's a flood. Like that's a lot of
Yeah,
data.
for sure.
I know.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah, but
Well,
so
and
that-
it's also, it speaks to like, because you had mentioned AI, and I think one thing that, like you said, stamping something to the chain and giving it that authenticity, I think is going to be huge across the board. Because AI and deep fakes and the ability to duplicate and just put not genuine stuff out there is going to be obviously rampant. And the only way that you're really going to have to cross check that is if something was put to the chain. At least I can check, is that the
Right, you
original?
need a
Is that
known
the
network.
original? Exactly right. Like, I think that's going to be huge in a lot of areas, especially in what we do in music, what you're doing with, medical data, things like that. So it just makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Jersey boy too myself. I'm from northern New Jersey.
Oh, okay. There you
Yeah,
go. So
yeah.
you know.
Uh-huh.
So you know. You already
Yeah,
know.
I was out of there years before New Jersey went legal and stuff like this. But
It's
yeah,
been a tough
I knew
it's
some
been a tough fight.
people. Yeah, it's been a tough fight. I know. Very singular to the in crowd, if you will. I knew somebody who was trying to get licensed up there for years. They made him buy the whole facility, do all the blueprints, and then you submitted your application with the money on top of it. And if you didn't get it, you lost the money. All the stuff, and they kept on doing it every year. Millions of dollars invested into the entire setup. And one day there was, I won't go too far into detail with it, but there was somebody that was going to push the application through. And on the day of signing, they asked for 80% of the company, and just for the signature, they had to do all the work themselves. And it was just kind of like they worked for for probably a decade trying to get this thing off the ground. And the day that they kind of just everything got shut down and put away. But this is always the uphill battle, so to say, when we're dealing with that amount of tax money and stuff like this. But really, I mean, California is the Garden State. It's not an area where you're under lock and key. It's not very, it's not the easiest place to grow. But even so, putting medicine into somebody's closet at home, I'm sure there's veterans that that are probably under these medical programs in New Jersey, and for somebody to be able to grow their own medicine, you have a connection to the plant. Like the connection of growing it is part of the healing process. In my mind, I feel 1,000 times better with my daily life if I have plants to check in on. And then at the end of it, and you're harvesting, and then you get to, either share it or you have it for yourself. There's just something that's irreplaceable than what you can get at the store. Even if, that we have some high quality products out there, but being able to do that home grow and having it for your own medical is highly essential in today's life,
Oh, absolutely. That's like, because I have actually my medical card. Because like when in New Jersey, it was super hard to get your medical card for so many years. But then
Mm-hmm.
PTSD came, and it was one of the qualifying conditions. And as soon as it did it, I went and got it. But
Yeah.
like, it was not an easy process. Like they
Right.
don't make it easy. Well, now I'm not sure if it's easy, but like they didn't
I
make
think
it easy at
now
the
it's a
time.
lot easier. Currently it's a lot easier.
Yeah,
And it's a stepping stone in the right direction, but at the same time, it's when it gets that easy to get a medical license, they just haven't figured things out yet.
yeah,
Like for instance, I'm in Florida right now, and it takes a trip to the doctor and then $100 bill,
yeah,
and you get it, and that's it. And other people are just like, well, I can get Delta 9 at the store that says it's hemp derived, and it's the same exact product. It just was extracted from a plant that had less
yeah,
THC content. And
yeah,
so why even go get my medical card when it's here already? But they have all these laws and restrictions against it. So we're getting these products that are just full extract, and we don't get the entourage effect. And it's and they want to put a
yeah,
study up against this. It makes absolutely no sense. So
yeah.
it'd be really interesting to see how these next 4 years play out. I mean, I'll probably be eating my own words in 4 years because they'll probably turn out to be something else. But with with this with the new leadership coming into play here, it's like we have a lot of more conversation on the board of the reasons why we are going to legalize this on a federal level. In the past, what we've always seen was we're going to legalize this because we want your vote. And we've had this as a topic of conversation for at least 12 years. And it's always been, it's always been, hey, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Vote for me for another 4 years. And now we're seeing all these statements being released and saying we should do it because of this, and we should do it because of this. And it's not because we should legalize cannabis. It's because of all the reasons why it should be legal in the first place. It's because it has these health benefits, and it does raise a lot of money. So what do you do with all the money that's going to get raised through all the taxes? And I mean, shoot, if once we get to import and export, it's really game over for that, for the financial aspect of everything. And they're looking at putting it towards like drug addictions. And I wouldn't be surprised that it trickles down into the veterans as well, because we have this hierarchy of the needs in our society that aren't getting this type of relief from the government. It's absolutely ridiculous. You said the number earlier about how many homeless veterans we have out there right now, and there's absolutely, why is that not like the top of the list of things that we need to be catering to right now in aspects of a solution? And so when we have all this excess money and it comes in for a purpose and for a reason, it gives me the light of day of saying, I think that this could actually be potentially possible in the next 4 years.
Yeah, it would be great to see some substantial progress on that. And I'm stuck in Wisconsin up here in the Midwest. I'm surrounded by recreational and medicinal legality in every state in Canada above me. And we've got nothing, absolutely nothing here still. If you want something, you got to drive down, past the Chicago border or Illinois border and go grab something. And it's just, it's crazy that we're still at that point, honestly.
Yeah.
When you have states that still haven't even come around to the fact, like you said, I'm pretty sure most states, municipalities, and our federal government all run a deficit. We need to generate revenues. We need to come up with a new way to go out and create taxes without raising taxes. And that's where hopefully this administration sees the potential revenue on the board from something like that and just finds a sensible way of doing it on a federal level so we can get rid of all of this state to state mixed, laws.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one. It's kind of because it's like you're going from New Jersey, you're flying from New Jersey to California, but it's like you can't take anything with you. But it's like you're going from a legal state to a legal state. You
Yeah,
know
right.
what I mean?
Exactly. It makes no sense, and that's
Yeah.
logic hasn't entered the conversation yet. So hopefully that
Yeah.
happens soon.
Yeah, my understanding, it's a bit of a gray area. Some locations say that they don't do a call ahead as long as you're legal in the state that you're leaving to and arriving to. I've known some people that had prescriptions because of their cancers, and they flew with it all the time. And if they said anything, it was like, I'm like, well, what if they said something to you? It's like, well, I'd go tell them to go themselves, and it's warranted in certain situations. If I were to hop on a plane and get caught with it, I would, it would be a completely different story. But we just witnessed this recently. With a guy from Canada, and he was Kevin O'Rourke, and he was flying to South Africa, and he had CBD products on him, and he was had a layover in Dubai, and the Dubai airport flagged him. They searched him, and they found just enough CBD on him by weight, which I think they were weighing like vape cartridges and stuff like that and putting it into full weight. But they're going to try to put him away for life in Dubai. And
Wow,
he
that's
has
crazy.
a life-threatening
That's
illness.
crazy.
Yeah, and so we're hoping that the verdict sends him home, because that's really the only solution that is necessary here. Nobody needs to be put away for life, but the guy should just go home back to his family and call it a day. That's enough.
Yeah, 100%.
They made a statement.
Yeah. Why don't you want to tell us about? I know you got a decent amount of tracks out on Gala currently, and I believe you have one coming up soon with Allie and Spencer. You had mentioned.
Yeah, watch me.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit specifically about kind of just the music and the tracks and the artists you've worked with on Gala so far. If there's also any down the pipe coming up.
Yeah, I mean, like I have a bunch of collabs down the line. I've worked with a bunch of great artists so far, and like the beautiful thing about this whole process is like Spencer and Allie, right? So like I met Allie, she lives in Boston. Like I'll drive there, I'll go to her shows and stuff like that. But like Spencer, he lives in Africa.
Yeah,
And I met Spencer through Discord, and just through like building a relationship with him, like trying to get him as an artist on the platform. I was like, listen, why don't you drop a track under my, LionHeart Entertainment, try to get you exposure, and then like trying to like build relationships, like, hey, why don't you guys do a collab, see how it sounds, and like just trying to get different artists to work with each other, because I kind of feel like that's kind of what it's all about too. It's like bringing different artists, different genres of music, and kind of just like making magic, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so like with
100%.
Allie and Spencer, that's what we did. So like they have their track, and then like Allie's done another collab for me. That's with Emily Faye. That hasn't been released yet. That's gonna be that's gonna be coming out probably
Excited
in
for
the
that
next like 2-3 months. So like I'm super excited for that as well.
Very nice.
But like like all the artists, like they've all been just so like gracious. And like there's artists from like the UK, right? So like
Hmm.
the artists who are part of Lionheart Entertainment, like when I host these events, those are the artists that will be potentially performing dependent on schedules. So like the ones that can't, like the thing is, like, I have an artist pool. So, like, ticket sales, there's like 25% of the ticket sales go to the artist. So, it
Okay.
doesn't matter how many, it could be 16,000 tickets, it could be 4,500 tickets, whatever the ticket sales, I feel artists should get 25%. And then, like, because, like, I hear, like, well, that could be way too much. Like, some artists might be happy with this, I don't want to play that game. Like, I just feel like
Mm,
everybody's equal. And I feel like, yeah, some,
Mhm.
in a sense equal, right? And for me,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
I just feel like, you know what, 25% across the board, each individual person gets their share, and like the ones that can't be there, it's like I still want to do something for them. So then like now like I still have like a portion that I put aside that will go to them. So either buying them like a new synth board, or if they needed like new in-ear like ear monitors or anything like that, or if they needed recordio like studio time or something like that, I could help them out with that. Like because for me, that's what it's all about. Like, it's not, it's about the emergent artists, it's about the artists, but it's also about the at-risk communities. And by
Yeah.
having these
Absolutely.
charity concerts, it's like I can accomplish both with one mission, basically.
yep.
You know,
Get two
so
Yeah.
birds stoned at
Yeah.
once.
Absolutely. Great.
yeah,
Oh, it's a great idea too. And as a fan of it, it's awesome to see so many different collabs kind of come out of it.
yeah,
It's like you
and then
said,
like
it's when people, and Gala Music's a prime example for it. Some really cool and creative shit gets done when people kind of come out of their box a little bit.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Sometimes you got to get taken out of your comfort zone and
Yeah,
like
100%.
crazy things happen, you know, and especially like with all the collabs and like all the artists. So like all the tracks, all the proceeds goes to hosting the events.
Okay.
So like all those track, like every bit helps, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, but like, I'll pay, like I'll have the artists for the studio time and all that stuff. Like, so I try to do as much as I can for
Yeah.
them. So it's like,
And
it's
if
like
you're
we're
a
all
business,
family.
yeah, and if you're a
Right.
business too, you have a way to get in as well. I mean, you can go in and support and buy the tracks,
Yeah.
but you also have a way for people to come in and sponsor these events as well, right?
Yeah, I have a whole sponsorship proposal, and I also have the website that's almost done. So that should be done hopefully this week. So then I'll have
Okay.
that, and like that's going to be lionheartent.org.
Great,
That's the
Awesome.
domain, so that'll be up and running shortly.
nice.
But yeah,
Yeah, you can catch that in
it's
the
a
description down below too, and we'll have a link over there for you guys to hop in and take a look at the new website when it's live.
yeah. I mean, like my vision truly is just to be able to host festivals across the United States and abroad, just like inspire and hope. Because my thing is like I could reach out to other nonprofits in other states. So like if there's another nonprofit trying to raise money, but there's the venue that I'm hosting an event at right close by, now I work with them so I could donate them proceeds of the ticket, and then they also help with the marketing aspect and getting the word out and all that. So
Totally.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
100%. It's a good thing.
Takes a lot of work, yeah. So I'm a heavy equipment operator by trade. So
So
the good thing
you
is
got the
like,
day job to worry about in between all
yeah,
this. I know how that
yeah.
goes.
So you know how it is. So like I have my AirPods in now. I live with these things in my ear because I'll be having a talk all, and
Yeah.
certain artists live in like the UK or Africa. Like everybody's time zones could be different.
Yes.
So like, it's like 3 a.m. My daughter comes out. What are you doing on the phone? I'm like, oh, I'm talking to my friend from Thailand. It's like
Yeah.
daytime there right now. I'm like, geez,
Oh,
Good
so
yeah,
stuff.
it's good. Yeah. But I'm just super excited also about Metaflora though, and what you guys are doing. Like
Thank
the
you.
whole aspect, like the whole ecosystem, it was just such a great idea. But I try to tell everybody too, it's like even the IRL experiences and everything you guys are working
Yeah.
like in real life, not just like blockchain per se. It's like so beautiful. It's like, it's such a great idea.
Yeah, a quick vision into the future, you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
we call it Web3, we call it blockchain, but all it is the next step of how we introduce technology to
Yeah,
the
our
larger
daily lives.
population, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And
100%.
yeah, might as well get that ball going right now because IRL events, if you have IRL companies, like this is the way that we're going to move forward. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
100%.
powerhouse in marketing. It's it's getting to know your consumer. Like there's a disconnect at the current moment right now between corporations and their consumer and their customers and their loyal customers, their fan base, all the above. There's this disconnect too. But with the blockchain, you know exactly who's ordering your stuff, exactly how many times they're going in there, and you have this retention of or you know where to focus in on retention of who you need to bring back in and what makes them tick and providing to them. And this is extremely important because that's where your brand loyalty comes into place. That's where you know, the people who are going to continue to support you, and that's what this whole thing brings together. So having these IRL locations, I'm sure Gala's going to be doing this as well very soon. I'm surprised music hasn't gotten there just yet, but but they have because of what you're doing. You know, you saw it and you're like, well, you know, in my mind, it's like, well, if you're not going to do it, then I'm going to do it. You know,
that's kind of basically that's what
that's basically kind of how it is. And all I want to see is the Gala ecosystem grow. And I'm like, well, I have this powerhouse behind me. This is going on there too. This is all about the whole bigger the whole bigger vision is how do we incorporate all of this into our daily lives. And if you don't like sitting around a computer all day, fine. You like whitewater rafting, you like hiking, you like biking, you like smoking weed. I got it all, you know, and we can do it all in one spot. And you know, and I can't wait for that first stage to be set up. We should definitely do a LionHeart Entertainment
you guys got to.
event.
That'd be great.
And
100%.
you know what I'm saying, dude? That would be so dope to have these Gala music artists up there. And we're doing it for a good cause. We're doing it for the veterans. And yeah, man, I can't wait to see everything come into fruition as we enter into this next phase here. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys a lot. And like I always tell everybody, like teamwork makes the dream work because it's true. You know what I mean?
Totally.
No matter what, like I feel like everybody in a team brings something different and unique to the table. And that's what I kind of feel like Web3. It's like everybody's different, everybody's unique, but everybody can kind of bring something different to the table. And if we all just work together, beautiful things. You know what I mean? Like
it's a powerhouse.
Powerhouse.
Absolutely.
Absolute powerhouse.
Yeah.
And it all stems from the community.
100%.
That's the foundation.
It's the greatest community in Web3, like hands down.
Totally is.
I agree.
Yeah.
We do have that new track coming up. You want to take a quick sneak peek listen here?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
There's a violence in me. It feels like home. Your smile is deceit, but I know I see the webs you weave. You think I'm slow, but I'll see the throat that breathes until it don't.
I just wanna make things right this time. You know that I hate it when you waste my time. Only play me like a fire, burning with desire. Baby, stop the fighting, gotta do the right thing. For you, I've been grinding, God, you be my everything. Heal me like some medicine, we're gonna make a movie scene. Situations escalate, haters watch us elevate. You and I will celebrate, if they try, make him late. Ride or die, it's been a fate.
Watch me. Watch me. Watch me. Ooh, I'd watch your back, maybe. There's a violence in me. It feels like home. Your smile is deceit, but I know I see the webs you weave. You think I'm slow, but I see the throat that breathes until it don't.
I'm so sick and tired of you always talk me down. You know I had my goal, was my painting for you anyway. Feel like I could run away, gotta hit the highway. Live up like a renegade, treat me like an average. Show me all you got is rich, boy I got no leverage. Feeling so degraded, the pen that
Very nice, man. I like that.
Thank you,
And
thank you.
Allie is she's just touching every genre out there right now.
Yeah, I love her. I love her. She's so
She's
great.
awesome. She's amazing.
Yeah, she is.
And that was called Watch Me. And when again is that coming out on Gala?
It's probably going to be within the next like month or so.
Okay. All right. We'll definitely have to keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah, keep an eye out. Definitely. Yeah, and Spencer, he's great, man. So he's
Yeah.
actually he actually goes to college in Nairobi. So
Okay.
he lives in Africa and stuff. So like, yeah, he's just such like a kind soul. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything's just so like he's just amazed by all this all because like somebody from like they don't have this opportunity. You know what I mean? It doesn't come around often.
Yeah, it's
So
different.
for him to
It's
actually,
definitely different.
yeah, so for him to finally experience this, like we've talked for months about this before he got on the platform. And like
That's awesome.
every day I'm like, dude, we're just gonna keep going for it. We're not gonna stop. Don't give up. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we're gonna push through. So like me emailing everybody and like, you know, telling them go on Discord, be active, like show your face, be annoying until they say okay. We're just gonna, you know what I mean? Like, so for him, this was a dream come true, and that's what it's all about for me. Like, I just want to see people. I want to change lives in a sense. You know what I mean? And like, we all can change lives. Like they say, you could change the world one child, one community at a time. And like, I truly believe that. You know what I mean?
That's true. No, and it definitely shows through. I mean, anybody that knows anything about Gala music, they know your name. They know you're a main motivator in the Discord across the board, just keeping everything kind of, especially when, you know, shit can hit the fan sometimes. You're the first person to jump in there and be like, everybody just chill out. Let's
We need that.
Well, because my thing, it's like, listen, Rome wasn't built in a day. Nothing great is. So let's just it's Web3. It's new.
This is all uncharted. There's
you're
nothing.
gonna have ups and downs, unknowns, changes. It just happens. But guess what? At the end of the day, as long as the team's aligned, everything else will fall into place.
Yeah.
Like everybody just stick together. You know, it's like.
No, man. I definitely appreciate it as an artist and as somebody who was involved in Gala even before that, and I know everybody else does. So your efforts definitely don't go unnoticed, man. The whole community knows who you are and what you're about. So something to be proud of.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you very much, Crypto Lion, for coming out. This has been like an absolutely amazing conversation with you. We are meshing really well. I think a lot of what you're doing is something that Metaflora really wants to become a part of. And as we build out in the near future, me and you will definitely be speaking with each other. I really love your mission, and we want to help out no matter how we can, whether, not whether it's Metaflora or Elysium, but as it is both Metaflora and Elysium, we can't wait to pursue our ambitions even further, and capitalize on these shared goals with each other. I reached out to you for a reason. Much respect to you and everything that you're doing with LionHeart Entertainment, and even further so with the Gala music community and the Gala community in general. Much love, brother, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
So yeah, Louis King's going to be joining us on the show today. He's toured with world artists known as Earl Sweatshirt, Anderson .Paak, The Outlaws. He's been on Netflix, HBO, Fox Sports. He's a visual artist as well. He's been featured on soundtracks from Solo, The Star Wars Story, and Rise of the Planet Apes. This guy is a superstar, and he's a Gala music artist. He's top of the charts. You guys all know him, Louis King. And here he is without further ado. Hey.
Yo. What's going on,
happening?
Man? How y'all doing, man?
Doing really well. How about you?
I'm good, man. Just appreciate y'all, man. I want to ask, I know it's like cannabis related. Can I smoke on the podcast or?
Fuck yeah. I'm over here.
Cool. No, now we Gucci, you know what I'm saying? We good.
Yeah.
I'm jealous that y'all get to, Tripto, you got your gummies, you get to smoke. I'm in my basement studio. My kids are upstairs, so I got to sneak out to the garage to handle
that's why
that.
I got the gummies. I'm like, I'll get my ass handed to me if I start lighting up in here.
Same here, man.
I'll just microdose on the edibles.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah, it's an ongoing research and development for the Metaflora marketplace. You got to make sure that everything in there isn't bunk. So,
Oh yeah, yeah, hell yeah. Oh, where y'all based at?
well, I'm in Florida right now. I'm from California. I've
Uh-huh.
been doing kind of a trip around though. I just spent 6 months in Europe. I was based in Romania. I spent some
Wow.
time in Germany, London, and then Slovenia, and just kind of getting to know the European marketplace in cannabis,
Okay.
and just kind of meeting as many people that are innovating the industry out there as much as I possibly can, and yeah, just really connecting with a lot of awesome people out there. We even just by going to all these events out there, we even connected with people, all over Europe, but also in Africa and Morocco, and just seeing this huge shift in the cannabis industry that is allowing import and exports. And it's medicinal driven, but these are all just building blocks to go further. Like for instance, Canada makes up 70% of the European supply chain, and we don't have this kind of capability in California. You're in LA, right?
I'm in LA. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much the cannabis hub of the United States, let alone just California in general. But that's the go-to for what's new, um, and yeah, top talent.
I
But
love it. I smoke, but I feel like, it's, I don't think people know really in Web3, people know me, more for music and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
people don't really know to what extent, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in cannabis. Like, I can't even say so much on camera, but, but I'll share. I'm super into those topics and listening and learning about, you know what I mean? Things that, you know what I mean? Cannabis connoisseurs and all this stuff. And then even a step further, um, like how, we can adapt cannabis into Web3. And I actually I took my LSAT to go to law school to learn about cannabis compliance so that I
wow,
can
Okay.
help people, secure licenses in the community, So, yeah, man, I love this topic. So, just put
wow,
it out there.
I didn't even
I
know,
had
I
no
didn't know,
idea.
yeah, I did not know that about you either. And
Yeah,
it's so important to have that expertise too, because I went through that whole process as well. And for somebody who's they're on the farm, they're cultivators, they're growers, this is like their expertise, this is what they're really good at. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, medical licenses aren't good anymore. Now you're going to have to start going through this process of getting yourself legal, and all these hoops that need to be jumped through in order to get there. It's very much out of everybody's wheelhouse. So that's what I had to do, is I had to get a consultant that had already navigated through this type of process, and we worked together, and we were able to obtain this type of thing. But just talking to the community around me, it was like, man, that's something that's it's unobtainable, and
yeah,
because they create it like that, they
yeah,
create it to be unobtainable, and it needs to be more readily accessible. But it's great that you found your way towards wanting to help other people get to their licensing like this too.
absolutely, man, absolutely. Yeah, it's deep, man. It goes deep, especially in California, and it's really interesting seeing like traveling to other cities and even countries, some of these other countries, but like where it's interesting in Canada. You know what I mean? Like seeing how their dispensaries were like they were very, the ones that I went to. You know what I mean? Were very. It's probably different than that by now, but like early on, like when I was on tour with Earl Sweatshirt, the Fired Up tour, and that was
Hmm.
like the first time we started like seeing that was like from 2018, and that was like the first time 2019, the first time we started seeing really like, dang, like America and different places outside of LA, like
Yeah.
had so many dispensaries. And when we went into Canada, they were like there was no weed. Like it just looked like a bunch of just like blank wrappers, like, you know, like real drugs. You know how the orange joints behind the counter drugs,
Oh my gosh, right.
like that's how it was. Like it was just like super, but I was so excited to be out the country and be buying weed legally. Like I was like,
Yeah,
man,
right.
like, usually this is a whole thing, you know?
Yeah, we've come a long way.
Right?
Yeah, when I was in Berlin, they had an expo, and I mean, it was, oh man, how many different vendors did they have? There was hundreds of vendors, and you would walk through this thing. It took you an entire day to see every single booth. That's how many people were there, and everybody was smoking. And I was like, dude, this looks like California. Nobody else is doing this at all. And walking into this huge convention center, it was just unreal, dude. I mean, there's brands from Italy, there was brands from California. They had mushrooms there. They had all sorts of stuff. And I'm like, dude, I feel like I'm in Oakland. You know?
I love it.
Free for all.
I love it, man. I love it.
I'm jealous of y'all. I'm stuck here in the Midwest. I'm just outside of Milwaukee, and we ain't got fucking shit. You got to drive any surrounding neighbor: Canada, Michigan, Minnesota, Illinois. Everyone's good to go. So you're hightailing it. No, not us. Not in the slightest. Not even medical, which is crazy at this point.
Yeah, well, you're going to be the last one in.
It's kind of what it's feeling like.
Yeah. Well, jeez. Have you ever been up to like Lake Tahoe area?
Kinda, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I've definitely driven past it. I think is it near Big Bear, kinda?
It's north. It's more towards Reno.
Oh, I feel like I've driven past it more. Like,
Yeah.
I not really like went up there and just kicked it. You know what I mean?
All right, because I was gonna say if you've been out there, if you've been to Grass Valley before, Nevada City, it's like the foothills right there in California. That's where it's a really big prestigious cannabis cultivation area, and they have all craft farms there. Nobody's over like an acre of canopy, so everything's all small, like legacy grower type of aspect. But yeah, man, you should really come up and check it out sometime. That's where Elysium is, the cannabis headquarters that we're building right there in Nevada County. Yeah,
I would love to, man. Y'all let me know. I'll pull up on you. The homie that worked with Gala, no, he not too far from there. So I'm always looking for a reason to get a trip out into it.
mm-hmm.
Nice.
The homie that's in cannabis too, right? Is that who you're talking about?
I mean, he is in the cannabis, but I don't know. Like he don't do that for Gala. He like, I mean, I don't want to put his business out there, but he
totally.
He does something.
Okay. Yeah, because I got hit up. There's another one of our community members. He's from California as well, and he has a seed company and seed company and cultivation. And I think he might be he's either like Sacramento area or like in between Sacramento and LA. But you know that's all farmland stretch in between us.
Exactly. That's all there is right there. Farming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's really sick, man. I'd love to check it out. That's like I actually used to work in, like, how I got into wanting to do the legal shit is I used to work like heavy into cannabis, like on all angles. You know what I'm saying? So from like one day, the homie hit me up and was like, hey, bruh, like, and you know, like, as an artist, you know what I mean? Like, it sometimes can be difficult. It could be a challenge to find, like, work that kind of understands your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because, like, where I was at was, like, in a place to where, like, I wasn't at the time, like, it wasn't as consistent enough, like, to where it's like I need a job, I need to have something that pays my bills at the time. This is a long time ago, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And pretty much the homie calls me that's like friends with my mom's friend's son calls me, you know what I mean? He is the homie though, and he like was like, yeah, would you be interested in like doing some gardening with me? And I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I told him like I'm not really looking for a job right now, bro. Like I do my music shit, you know what I mean? And if I ever have to travel and shit, like I just be having to go on the road. Like this nigga called me, hey, 2 weeks we need you on the road to open. Someone dropped out. We going to Amsterdam or some shit, wherever, you know what I mean? And so like, you know, as that was reality, it was like didn't matter who you are, whatever job you are, like I'm finna leave you and go on tour if they call me and ask me at this time of my life. Still, you know, still, it just depends which tour now. It depends what now, you know what I mean? But at that time, it was like, shit, this is like what I wanted, you know, still is what I wanted.
Let's go.
Like,
Exactly.
Brand new. So, you know, I ended up, I ended up, he ended up being really cool with it, and he ended up being just on some shit where it was like, yeah, man, like, if you don't want to be like committal with me, that's fine. Just come in when you can, and on the other days, you know what I mean, when you gotta go, you gotta do whatever, like do whatever, and I'll just pay you out every week, and you can kind of decide what you want to do the next week. So I ended up going over there and to this place in downtown, and like, you know, I'm trying. It's a good amount of years, but I'm not gonna say the location where it's at. But it was just one of the sickest operations I had ever seen at the point, and they were really heavy in with, you know, a major. It wasn't gardening like I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? It was another type, and my homie happened to be like the top dog, like pretty much like this. How I explain it, okay? You seen Breaking Bad before?
Oh yeah,
of course.
So you know like in the latter episodes how there's the dude that's for it, like the cartel leader, black, he like half black, half Mexican, like, you know that dude, Fringe or something like that. He put him in the whole new facility with like all the money. He put him in that really rich facility. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
That's what this was like. This is like the top facilities. Like I'm talking about like huge rooms, like acre rooms, like, you know what I'm saying? And
was it also underneath the industrial laundromat service center?
It was on top. It was on, bro. It was on top, and it was a regular store on the bottom with
that's what's up.
Club in the middle, and just like how the dude was like a cartel, like this. I'm not gonna say who it was, but this was a group like that. Who was a real mafia, and they hired the top dog, who was the dude who was Breaking Bad, was my homie.
So he was the mad scientist?
The son of my mom's friend, who won a fucking High Times cannabis cup with his Tangy, you know, his Tangy type, and he brought me in as his right hand man. So he was on top of everyone in there, and then everyone worked for the mafia, and then I worked just for him. I was the only person that worked for him, and I did that for like a good amount of time. Like he kept firing people, they kept getting mad, and you know, I just was able to maintain enough distance to him because I got paid out every week, and then I decided I want that. It was like, you know what I mean? Like this person's the manager, that person's, but really like I come in wherever I do my thing, and I learned so much from him that one day, you know, I went when it was a pandemic, and I said, okay, well, you know, since we can't tour, I was on tour with Earl Sweatshirt, Anderson .Paak, Erykah Badu, Solange. You know, everything was where you wanted it to be at, and then all of a sudden, you know, pandemic, and no one's touring nothing. And this is how I feed my kid. I had a newly born baby, you know what I'm saying, during the pandemic. So I had to find a way to like pay the bills like for real. You know what I mean? Like replace literally my career as a touring artist, which not like someone who toured like 10 months out the year. I was touring in 2019, so it was a lot of money to replace, and there wasn't so much to do. So I bought a bunch of like, I built uh, uh, a cannabis space, and I put about 150 plants in there. I moved my baby mama and my kid in there. You know what I'm saying? I built up. I could like turn around like I had a bunch of these things in there. These indoor. You see that?
Yeah,
I had a
nice.
bunch of things in there. I had outdoor. I had greenhouse. That was how I survived the pandemic. Literally, 150 plants. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm super happy y'all reached out about this topic.
So as far as cultivating, what is your favorite strain that you like to grow? Not just smoke, but to grow.
To grow, my favorite strain is a custom strain. It was called Purple Gorilla Lou Glue.
All right.
Gorilla Lou Glue, and
Sounds phenomenal.
I cultivated it. It actually was a greenhouse, and that says a lot because obviously I love indoor. The indoors are powerful. You know what I'm saying? But I cultivated it next to it was a Gorilla Glue, but I cultivated it next to this lavender, like the actual lavender plants.
Yeah.
And I grew the same exact plants, the same exact seeds, right? In another grow, and it came out just regular Gorilla Glue. This whole batch came out purple because it was grown next to the lavender, and it somehow like infused it, and it tasted so good. I was so proud. Like it made me proud. Like before then, I was like, oh, like I'm just learning. I'm trying. Once I get that, I was like, oh, the Lou Glue is it. I got my Lou Glue. Like so, it's exciting for me. It's like cooking.
That's what's up.
It can be more exciting for you. What about you? What's your favorite strains?
How about you, Space Bar?
Dude, it's whatever I can get at the dispensary. I mean, I'm more of a sativa type dude, but as far as strains, it's pretty much chatting with the bud tender and taking recent recommendations. So we don't, again, not even having medical here, we can't do our own growing. I don't have anybody that has a solid space around me that does it. A few friends that are pretty far up north on that side of things. But I'm in a bad spot for it because it's pretty much whatever you can get your hands on.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. It's just, it's crazy as we sit here and I hear you guys talk about the areas you're in and how far they come along and the shit y'all are able to do now. And it's like, how are we still here?
Yeah.
Say where you're at one more time.
Just outside of Milwaukee in Wisconsin.
Outside Milwaukee. Okay. Yep. Exactly. Yep. I know. I got you.
Yeah. For me, I like the Chem 91. I think that would be my favorite strain. That growing it, they get super big, 13, 14, 16 feet tall. Cola is the size of biceps.
Jeez.
And but it's nice and airy. It doesn't have that dense pack, and it creates this this gassy flavor to the whole thing that's just kind of like, I find that the new genetics and the new strains are always about tighter, denser bud structures, and it's about bag appeal. It's about those Insta pictures, and the weed porn. But if you put it next to the traditional, like the Chem 91s or even like your sour diesels,
yeah,
you're like, you take a picture of one, you take a picture of this new age stuff, and you're like, well, I want the new age stuff. It photographs better. But when it comes down to these tastes and these different flavor profiles, there's just like something nostalgic about the entire thing.
Yeah.
And then I have some crosses that that are pretty much unreleased. Some of these things that were a sour diesel across with a Chem 91 that I have stock of that probably get released again. But that's pretty much, I don't know, some of my favorite plants right there stem from those sours and those chems. But Blue Skittles was a really nice one too. It was blue dreamy, but in its structure, so it was easy to grow. It had like really thick stems, so when you had those big colas coming out, like you didn't have to worry about the branch breaking so much. Like the Gorilla Glue, you mentioned Gorilla Glues, and the GG4s, they're a little bit more like, they're more OG. They have that thinner stem structure, and so like training them in the beginning and always keeping them upright and trellis properly was always like very time intensive. So when you have a bunch of them going, it's always kind of like, okay, you have to take care of these ones, but when you're done with them, you get a product that's like bright white. Like there's so much, it packs so much in there that it's one of the best strains out there, even still to this day, because it still can be a little bit airy, which I like, and then it's got that frost effect, and it's maybe not the easiest for first time growers. Like a Blue Dream is always going to pack on a punch. You're always going to get good yields.
I do some blue for that reason exactly.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it though, because if you're in it for the extracts, that Blue Dream is going to produce gold. It's always going to be top quality coming out of it. It's easy to grow. It's always going to yield good. And as far as like demands on nutrient uptakes and stuff like that, it's very easy going for you. It's,
hell yeah. The growing, like, I feel like I was on the side. Well, I have to say one to say the other. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to clarify. Like, all right, so because I've been watching a lot of Lil Durk documentaries, and I'm not trying to like, say too much. But not to say too much. I want to clarify so motherfuckers understand. I'm in California. The laws are a little bit different out here.
Yeah.
So like a good amount of time ago, y'all listen to you. Y'all know U2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So U2, they went platinum in one day. Jay-Z did the same thing too. How they did it was, and you'll see how this wise into cannabis, right? So they if you bought a certain type of phone, I think it was Verizon Wireless, it was something like that, automatically downloaded their album on your phone, and when you got in your car, U2 would play for millions of people, bro. Millions. Genius. I was like, I didn't even like, I like U2 though, no disrespect. That's Bono, right?
Yeah.
Shout Bono, you know what I'm saying? I fuck with U2. But I just thought, what a genius, because even if you don't like U2, then they still playing on your phone. So
the amount of times,
found out a way to do that, like not at the large scale that they did, but my team was great. I had a great team. Shout out Brett Haber, shout out Big Cuz, Generation West, House of Vibe, Makuta was there down too, and we put this project out, do it while I'm young, and we were able to do it like sell them on iTunes to where it was like, no matter what, like when you get it, it's just the first song. Like still to this day, however many years, that's got to be at least 8 years to this day. Still, 7 years at least. It still plays on my shit and other people's shit. So one day during the pandemic, right? Like my homie who I'm telling you about, Brett, who he's a lawyer, super dope, Haber, you know what I'm saying? If y'all need some entertainment law, he got y'all. And he connected me. He said, yeah, my boy, he is coming to California and he's starting a weed delivery company in California. And I told him about you, and he said, oh yeah, I know Louis King. I have his album plays every time I turn my car on. His album plays.
Nice.
The CEO of this the CFO of this company, right? This guy in Long Island, New York, moves to LA, starts a company, had my album, just was like, oh, you want a job? It was during the pandemic. Come work for me. It's my first job ever with benefits. Selling weed is my first job ever You know what I mean? Like, so I start selling. Because Amuse, this company he built, they had some money behind them, and we made that shit pop off into the biggest delivery service. You know what I'm saying? And in LA like
Yeah.
there was
Yeah,
no
right.
number one delivery service in LA. You saw Amuse on every billboard, and so I just say that from that standpoint of like, so I was serving sacks all throughout for like 14, 16 hours the days I was serving for real, like to feed my kids for Christmas. Like I remember coming home from New Year's, 12-hour a day, 11:30, 45 at night, just to have spend 15 minutes, you know what I'm saying? And so, that's kind of ultimately what led me to want to get more into the compliance side. We're intellectuals also, and we deserve to kind of be a part, of marijuana. We could talk more about that later, but when I ended up growing, right, I felt like there were some people who wouldn't like give me, they was like trying to like act like, oh, it's too hard for you to figure out. Like, you might as well just fuck with me or some, you know what I mean, type
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
And so I just wanted to say, like, to anyone that's like interested in growing and building their stuff, like, nah, like anyone can do it. I believe anyone can do it, but it does take the time. Like, you're not gonna like just like, oh, let me just, like you were talking about, like the blue dream. It's like you're not just like, let me just try one that because it's easy and I'm gonna just get one. It's like for me, just my own experience, it took me a lot of tries. Like there was a lot of fails. You know what I'm saying? Like I had hundreds of plants. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it took that. It wasn't one try, but once it was, you know what I mean? I started seeing the same shit I seen in the book before and the YouTube videos and all that, and I built all that shit. It started to become easier. So, I just think it's like, want to shout out anyone who want to get into it, like, give it your best shot and learn, and who knows, you know what I mean?
Yeah, any amount, it's like I recommended the same thing to a homie up in the mountains, and he was growing it through like the winter time, and so he called me up. He was like, "Hey, Greg, you recommended this whole thing to me. You said anybody can do it. He's like, I'm having some trouble." So I went over there, I took a look, and I was like, "What the fuck did you do?" Like, but then he turned it all around. It was just the entire thing was just nutrient deficiencies. Like he was like,
Yes.
I'm supposed to give him food. Like, yeah, okay. You should have done a Google search first of all. Like at least get somewhat of a gist down. But I just kind of gave him a quick regimen. I was like, hey, this is what you want to do. You want to keep it organic, or do you want to use salts? Yada yada yada. And then I came back. I was just up there visiting, and I decided to stop by his house. And he was like, yeah, I'm thinking about harvesting if you want to take a look at them. And they just bounce right back. So like even in the beginning, if you're struggling and whatnot, there's most likely still a solution that you can apply to your plants in order for them to snap back into it. And it's definitely a learning curve in the beginning. But,
Yeah.
like this new industry that's, I mean, it's getting extremely smart. Don't get me wrong, but it is growing a plant in the beginning, and all the extractions and all the laboratories, like they're taking a next step further. But in its first stage, it's just watering a plant. You can even have like an organic soil, and maybe even do a couple little top dresses throughout the year, maybe like two, twice during veg, once during a transition, and then just blast some phosphorus on top, and then just water it all in. It's very kind of simple procedure there to get yourself to harvest, and nobody should be like too taken back from it, thinking that it's not in their realm of expertise, when all you got to do is try it. And even if you get a small amount, you got a head stash that you grew yourself. And once you grow the plant once, you have this connection to it 100%.
Man, preach, bro. Nah, that's
Yeah.
once you get one, y'all got kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually,
Yep.
I my kid came during COVID as well. So I guess we got one around the same age.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
My daughter turned 6 on Sunday, man, and like obviously a kid is nothing like a kid, you know what I mean? But I would say like it was a similar, not the same. A kid is on a different level, but it was a similar type like just realization like spiritually, you know, connecting with nature, like and seeing like when my kid came out and my kid was good, and even still to this day, every time I look at her and it's like, dang, like, you know what I mean? She's like flourishing, like, wow, like how magical, like you can do something, you create something and it just like God take it through the steps in a similar feeling to when like the first time the plants I did a harvest and the plants was actually like, you know what I mean? It was successful and I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like this is like God's work right here for real. Like, you know,
Yeah. I know. When I'm growing a crop, I can't sleep. I can't wait to wake up. I'm always up before the sun rises because I want to catch the girls still sleeping. And then when the sun starts peeking up and I'm already like halfway done watering, all of a sudden the leaves just start perking up and reaching directly to the sky. And they're like, boom, you know, they're praying to the sun. And it's like, dude, it's so addicting to do, just see it every single day. And all of a sudden you'll just see them shoot up hot bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And everything you put into it automatically just pushes it up. You know, it's so rewarding day in and day out. I've been getting these calls of like somebody from Chile wanted me to come out to their farm. I got invited to this farm out in Thailand to get them back on
what?
track. And I'm like, oh, you want to come do this master grower job? And I was like, no, I can consult, I can do all this stuff. But if you were to put me in charge of something, I don't sleep. I'm like literally, and I don't, it's not by choice. I can't sleep because I'm so giddy. I can't wait to see the plants in the morning. It's like a part of me. It became embedded into my bloodstreams,
Right.
you know? So
Absolutely, bro.
yeah, man, I always recommend anybody who's into the cannabis industry, you got to grow the plant one time and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, you know? It's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Love it.
So what's new with you musically? What do we got? You got some stuff coming up? You got something planned or?
Yeah, man. I got some really cool stuff, really exciting stuff for 2025. You know, Famous in the Metaverse is my album that, you know, from Web3 album, dropped it on Gala this year. Brought a lot of major artists from Wiz Khalifa, Snoop, you know, Currency, Griselda, Absol, you know what I'm saying, Big Crit, just a lot of legends, DMX, you know what I'm saying, got a verse on the album too. And so yeah, a lot of those songs are just on Web3 exclusively, you know, on Gala Music. So there's gonna be some new drops in 2025. There's gonna be some new drops that are following up from that. Some just single stuff, and yeah, you could expect a lot of music. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Some
That's what's
features, man. I like. I'm trying to think of if I should say what like a feature or something, but I'll give some clues. So like, there's one I'm really excited about that we did recently. Well, you could say, if you could say one of the most successful rappers of all time, commercially and also like skill wise, you know, we got some shit dropping on the in 2025, and so you know, I got me and Snoop got joints, so obviously it's not Snoop, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That helps any.
Well, I know
Very nice.
we're gonna play that track with you and Wiz Khalifa. I don't know if I said it before, but somehow I had gotten that Khalifa Kush cut, and it's the real deal. I was talking about the Chem 91s and this. It's like that. It's timeless, and anytime anybody smokes any of that, it's right away is, what is this? You know?
Yeah,
Dude.
shout out to that. I like that
Yeah,
KK.
real.
KK.
The
You know what I'm
KK
saying?
is what's up, man.
Can't go-
It's always a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it. And even if you don't tell them it's the KK, that's the ultimate test, you know? You're
You
like,
know what?
try some of this.
Have y'all
Every
have y'all had
time.
Marty
Bang
on
it.
here?
Huh?
Have y'all had Marty on here?
We
No.
haven't. No, not yet.
No, Marty
I
hasn't been on
hooked
yet.
you up, my homie Marty. You know the Marty
The missile.
the Marty missile?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my guy. You know, he's
Of
an
course.
artist.
Well, you got to connect us, man. I've been reaching out to him. Let's try to connect him on the show.
I'll connect y'all. Yeah, he's good people's, man. He's good.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
All right, let's take a listen. This is Make It Pay featuring Wiz Khalifa.
I've been hustling like every day, doing time on the grind, trying to make it pay. Hey, I'm still posted on the same block, same hood, still ducking from the same cops. I try hard, but the life that I live, man, ain't all it seems, man. Sometimes I pray to God I'm dreaming, but I ain't. Try to get out, but I can't. Damn.
Them haters try to stop me, but I never will. Fourth quarter heating up, so I never chill. Keep a burner on my lap, I don't shoot the miss. She say she love me, told her mans it was just a kiss. Now my family counting on me, I won't let them down. Losing sleep, it's hard to focus, I don't mess around. Paranoid, hearing sirens when I'm in the streets. The judge gotta meet the quota, belly of the beast. It's getting harder just to keep my feet up on the ground. Head in the clouds, coast to coast when I hit the town. With the whistle, man, the whole room filled with smoke. Weighted the world on my back, find a way to cope. My teachers used to say I'd never make it in this life, but at this rate, I'm just trying to make it through the night. Shorty said she wanna roll, but I'm out of time. Venice Beach to Slauson Ave, I've been on the grind, man.
And I've been hustling like every day, doing time on the grind, trying to make it pay. Hey, I'm still posted on the same block, same hood, still ducking from the same cops. I try hard, but the life that I live, man, ain't all it seems, man. Sometimes I pray to God I'm dreaming, but I ain't. Try to get out, but I can't. Damn. Then she see what getting high about. I got joint rollers, I got weed crushers, I got joint papers, I got big crushes on these little bitches and these big money. I don't talk funny, I just head to the bank. Yo, bitch, love me, getting all this bread. Round the world, homie. We're high, we're drunk, drunk as fuck.
This is that cushion OJ, that rapping forte, that Players Club, we been blowing loud the whole day. That parking lot pimping, ass rider from the west side, getting brains on the highway, got her hair tied. Johnny Law lurking in my rear view. Worldwide mob figure dipping in the clear blue waters that go and get dollars. Somehow, some way, that money talk, and I've been hustling every day.
I've been hustling like every day, doing time on the grind, trying to make it pay. Hey, I'm still posted on the same block, same hood, still ducking from the same cops. I try hard, but the life that I live, man, ain't all it seems, man. Sometimes I pray to God I'm dreaming, but I ain't. Try to get out, but I can't. Damn.
What do you think Jesus would have to say about rappers calling women bitches and whores? About rappers glorifying thugs and drug dealers? What kind of role models are those for young children living in the ghetto? Do we want to allow this type of behavior in our metaverse? What's your take on this, Louis?
Well,
Very nice, man.
Hell
Very
yeah.
nice.
So that's out now on,
Oh, it is out now. Okay.
on Gala Music. That's
right,
only
yeah.
exclusively on Web3. You can stream it. You just download the app. It's free to stream. You can even own it. You know what I'm saying? You can collect it. A lot of collectors so far, and you know we just we're gonna keep dropping more, but you can still get. There's a few cuts left that you can still get on Famous in the Metaverse album. So yeah, make sure y'all go and peep that. Shout out to the Wizzle, man. That's from that Kush and OJ era. If y'all was smoking, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't even smoking. I was playing college football. And I wasn't smoking. And Kush and OJ dropped. And you know what I'm saying? Niggas had to reconsider everything.
That's awesome, man.
So you were just out in you were just out in Miami for Art Basel, huh?
I was out in Miami, man.
Yeah, I saw the picture here with you with Ali and Crypto Lion as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Ali, shout to Ali, shout to Emily Lazar was out there.
Right on.
Morning and Taco, he was out there. Shout Satoshi was out there. Yeah, man. I don't know if you know my man Lava was out there. You know what I mean? Good people in the space. Good people. A lot of good people in the space. I was glad to experience. This is my first Art Basel.
Nice. That's what's up. Yeah, my bad I didn't make it out there. I was supposed to, but we were right in the middle of launching our node here. So we've been just that week everything came up and we started launching Beyond the Haze. We started getting all the coding back in, and we were running some tests on the nodes, and I was like, there'll be more Gala Music events. I'm gonna have to just buckle down for the community here.
Of course.
Hold down the ship, you know.
Yeah, we'll shit. Me and you, we should put one together. We'll put one. We we should put a collab. Like, I want to hear more about like how you kind of infiltrate cannabis in the Web3, and maybe we could do a do a collaboration with your brand and Famous in the Metaverse, and even get Gala Music involved too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe we can also we should bring in LionHeart Entertainment too.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's get Crypto Lion in this thing.
That's right.
Now we really got a party for real. That's the one.
Excellent. Yeah, let's keep that rolling then.
100%.
Yeah,
and that's kind of, I think, and Gala's mentioned that as far as 2025 trying to be a focus is live events. Definitely something I know all of us artists are hoping to see them do. So that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just as a node owner for Gala Music, you know, not even as an artist, that's what I want to see as well. You know,
man, I gotta set my node up, man. I'm slipping.
Yeah,
gotta get that thing running.
It's not running yet.
I got a computer over there. I got a computer over here. I got a computer over here. They're all running nodes.
Man, so you gotta keep it on and running.
Yeah,
I mean, they're old backup computers and stuff, you know.
But that's how
they just plug in. Yeah, I mean, you should also take a look at Deep Network. They have like a one-click deploy, and it's just always running. So your payouts are just clockwork every single day. You don't have to, you know, worry about any type of updating or anything like this. They're it's a
I use
really
NerdNode
great platform.
too.
Yeah, NerdNode
is another one. Yeah.
Well, yeah, same company. NerdNode is one-click deployed. Deep Network is the actual device, and they run their own. They run their own chain there with their own rewards and structures and stuff like this. And Metaflora will be a part of both of those things there.
So, Louis, what specifically brought you into Web3 music, particularly?
Man, Web3 music. The first thing ever that just like Web3 that I was on Clubhouse early with my whole team. Shouts to Aim for the Heart. Shouts to Layla and Layla Steinberg. And I was doing this. My friend was like, do you want to do this performance in this space on Clubhouse, right? And Clubhouse is this app that's just only audio, no video. But it was like a lot of people in the space, you know what I mean? Like, and you know, during pandemic and shit, so it was like 300 people in the space, but it was all audio. And when I got there, I performed, but then I found out it was like a competition, I guess. Like the people that were judges and they was gonna give away some prize or whatever. And I was kind of mad because I was like, I don't really be liking to like compete on some shit. Like I just thought it was performing and shit, but I left. But then they hit me back. It was like, where'd you go? You won the shit. You won. Blah, blah, blah.
Of course, man.
And then the prize was crypto, and that was the
All right.
first wallet I made, and
Shit.
got some crypto for it. And you know, that was just my first. This is what it is. This is make a wallet. This is how it works. You know what I mean? And then later, I was really did my first drop. You know what I mean? When I linked up with Gala Music, and Gala Music, you know, y'all know Gala Music for anyone that doesn't know, via Gala Games, and you know, I dropped New Cities to Pursue with an interactive NFT collective video, you know what I mean? And it was just wanted to take it to a new place, New Cities to Pursue, Web3, and it sold out, and I thought, you know, this is really cool. And then I did my first collection with Gala, and first 5 NFTs, and they sold out, and you know, from there, you know, it's just been a marathon, and I feel like yeah, I just was blessed to kind of learn about the space and see, like, for artists to be able to empower themselves and find a place where their music can be valued, you know what I mean, collectively, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, that was my first experience with Web3, was just linking up with Gala Music and dropping some dope shit.
Very nice, dude.
Collective, you can stream it now. It's called No Traffic in the Metaverse. So that was before Famous in the Metaverse. And that's on Gala.
Yeah, I've been tuning into the Aim for the Heart series. I can't believe like Layla's putting this on through the Gala's fireside chats. I was like, I felt blessed to be able to have that vision into this entire program. You know, can you tell everybody a little bit more about Aim for the Heart?
Absolutely, man. That's super cool that you've been tapping in, and because it's a special place where a lot of special creatives and just, you know, minds meet, and a safe space, you know, where we can discuss our differences and common values and experiences through music and art. And so we write a piece each week and on a topic that we all, you know, come up with together, and then we next week we come back and we share a piece on that topic, and we give feedback from that piece, you know what I mean, about the piece, what parts of the piece that we identified with, or, you know, how it made us feel. There was a line that we liked, whatever it was, you know, and it's just very valuable for the artists, for artist development, but also just for anyone in the space, because if you are someone that's listening, you know, if you're someone that's commenting, you know what I mean, then you know, now you're sharing as well. So now you're, you know, connecting with someone, and you're discussing your emotions, and you're doing it not like, you're not thinking about emotions or nothing. You're just thinking about a song. You're just talking about something, but it's activating something special that's like heart work, we call it, you know? And then if you're just someone we do it in classrooms, we do it in schools from TK, kindergarten, to 4th grade, 6th grade, 8th grade. We're in high schools, colleges. We're in, you know, different prisons from LA County to San Quentin Prison. And we can kind of recreate this workshop of heart work to where very impactful work is done.
It's amazing. Definitely, like I said before, I'm very grateful to be able to have eyes in to this program here on Fireside.
Yeah, and to anyone who doesn't know, you know, the mic sessions is like the original kind of incubator of Tupac Shakur. So this is where a lot of amazing pieces from Tupac have been birthed and kind of a special place in his history. And Layla Steinberg is the founder of it, and so it's been at least 30 years. And Aim for the Heart is the nonprofit that does this work in the schools and the prisons. And I've been blessed to be able to be a part of that. And our mission is to get this type of social emotional learning into all different schools, around the country, because it's very important how you manage your emotions. You know what I mean? How you deal with your self and others, no matter what you do, no matter what age you are, no matter what you look like, and it will make your life better. Better and easier to navigate. The better you are at accessing, assessing, and identifying your emotions. So we do that.
Absolutely. Music is healing as well. And you're projecting that onto your listeners. And like you said, maybe it's not so prevalent on your memory, like, you're just singing a song, but it's like, well, you're invoking all this out of me, So I don't know. It's great from a listener's point of view to be able to deep dive into the hearts of musicians and see where this type of emotion flows from. Very grateful to be able to have eyes on it.
Really cool, man. And yeah, super dope artists in there too, from Jewel to Stu, Courtney, Kiki, Miles, Essence.
We got JP Cali Smooth. He's going to be coming on the show in a couple weeks here too. Yeah.
Smooth. I'm so glad we didn't miss Smooth. I love Smooth. Smooth is so talented. You know what I mean? My guy. Grew up watching Smooth. And know his pops, and just a good dude. Just so happy to see him win, and we got some stuff dropping together soon.
Awesome.
Nice. That's what's up. Yeah, man. Well, I'm personally a big fan. I've been rocking for a minute. International Slap gets a lot of rotation in my playlist, man. That just takes me. That's that just old school vibes, man. That's what I, that's my core. That's my system. So when I hear that, that from the intro, you're just like, oh shit, this is my jam.
Man, you a real one for that. International Slap straight 10 years ago already.
Yeah, it was what,
10 years.
Yeah. Jeez, it's already, I guess it's about to be 2025, so 10 years.
Yeah, man, that's like the joint that really took me, that's why it's one of my first international tours and shit from International Slap, man.
And yeah. I think Pain Away is probably my favorite jam on that. It's just the vibes of it. But man.
Pain Away is tight. I love Pain Away. It's crazy how it came together too, because the girl Camila Recchio, shouts to Camila, super sick voice. You might have seen her she's on a lot of people's stuff. She's on a bunch of tracks on Macklemore's album, the Grammy nominated one, the Grammy winning one.
Yeah.
And so I had dinner with my mom and one of her friends randomly, in Santa Monica, and she was over there because it was her friend's house or some shit like that. I don't know. Randomly, she was out here from Washington for the weekend for one, and then she was like, yeah, they was like, yeah, he does music too, right? She was like, yeah, she does music. And we was chopping. I heard her shit. I was like, oh yeah, I'm actually going to the studio right now. I'm working on the last song on my album it was the last song for the project.
Okay.
She was like, oh yeah. She was like, yeah. Well, let's connect it up. When we end up linking up, she pulled up to the studio. We did that joint. It was her last night in, and then that was one of my favorite joints too on the project too. That's a lot of people's. You know what I mean?
It's a vibe, dude. It's one of
the favorites. Yeah.
That's crazy. It happened that quick. It just kind of fell together. We were talking about on other earlier episodes, just on every now and then you make a track, or especially on a collaborative type track, and the shit just falls into place. It almost feels effortless, you just look back on it and you're like, yo, that thing just came together. Very cool.
Oh my God. That whole project came together with some dudes from Oslo, Norway. Shout out to Type Raw and Loophole.
Yeah, Loophole.
Incredible just sound designers that like their shit all sounds like it's sampled and it's not. They're like playing those instruments. You know
That's
what I'm
fucking crazy, dude.
Mm.
Yeah, it's got that. I mean, you listen to the instrumental of that, you'd swear that's just creative sampling.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yep,
Like
100%.
these guys gave me like the funny thing. Like I was listening to their stuff. That's the internet. Like I was listening to their stuff on SoundCloud, and then like you know how you could check who's listening to your stuff.
Yeah.
Like they was listening to my stuff. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
was listening
yeah.
to my stuff, and then we was just like I had a joint that like I had seen their stuff and did a joint with their stuff, like just downloaded their stuff and did a joint, like, but I didn't release it. It was just like I didn't know them. I didn't have any clearance of it. Then I seen they was listening to my stuff. They had like liked my stuff and stuff, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. So I sent them the joint. They was like, yo, we should just do a whole project.
That's
and
fucking
they just
awesome.
sent me a bunch of,
Nice.
like samples and shit, and I just started like making beats with they samples, and then sending them shit. Then they would send me back new other beats, and like we would just sending shit back and forth, kind of on some like Jay Dilla and what's the dude, Mad Villain, my dude, Madlib and Jay Dilla, like sending their back and forth shit, like, and it was just such a raw vibe. It wasn't the music at the time was like, jerking and like New Boys, like just very like dancey shit. It wasn't at all like the style, but we just wanted to do some dope shit, man.
Yeah.
So glad that you peeped that, man.
That's correct. That's hearing the story of how, when you listen to it, it sounds like that's, years put into it. It's just a crazy full length album. I mean, this is even back in the day when you were doing, interludes. We don't get interludes anymore.
Man,
like, dude, it's like that's when you're thinking of an album kind of from start to finish in some way, shape, or form. It's not just I'm going to put out 13 tracks or whatever. You're worried about a count. Is it an EP? Is it an LP? You're like, no, I'm doing this shit kind of from front to start, and it's a story more than anything.
They tell you not to put albums out anymore.
Fuck that.
Bro, they tell you not to put albums
100%.
out.
They say singles is where it's at. Don't put albums out anymore. Attention span's down. Grab and go. But at the same time, like, that pendulum's got to swing, man. Fans are starving for that old experience. I mean, you can't replicate it. And I think now that we've had a decade plus of that kind of being sucked out of music almost, people are fiending for it. Like, to me, a revolution that will happen here, I think soon, especially with Web3 kind of at the center, is flipping back to the experience of an album. I mean, come on, dude. There was nothing better than, I'm an 80s baby getting dropped off at the mall with one album in mind and like, yo, I'm going straight to the fucking Sam Goody or whatever store you had, getting that album and just listening to that shit for a week front to back, like just dissecting it, So I don't know. I'm old school. Fuck that. I want albums back.
Man, come on, man. Just preach, brother. Like, it just come down to like, I get the business strategy
for sure.
Releasing singles. Like, there's no question that it's important to release singles for the strategy, for the algorithm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maximize singles for sure. But at the same time, like, it's just like the art. Like, if you're like a straight mural painter, like, how some people we paint murals.
Yeah.
You paint canvases. My canvas is a building. That's what I do. I'm a side of a building. I paint buildings. That's my art. You know what I mean? This guy could do clay figures. This one, maybe he do statues. That's his art. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with either one. Like, you know what I mean? A great song is a beautiful song. That's art too. 10 beautiful songs is 10 beautiful songs, but connecting them all together, you know what I mean? It's like a movie and a series. Like, just because you're a great movie writer, you know what I mean, don't mean you write a whole 10 part series, you know what I mean? So, I get what they saying, but it just, when I hear it, I look at it like Dre and Kendrick and, these type of dudes, even M, and Snoop. You know what I mean? It's albums, man. It's albums. Like,
Yeah, 100%. That's what we remember, right? We remember the albums.
yeah, man. Much needed point. We had to touch that. You know.
Yeah, I'm glad we did.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, maybe one day. Earthlings we got quite a vault of beats, man. Maybe one day we can link up and I can send you some shit.
Absolutely, bro. I need that mini. You near Minneapolis, right?
Yeah, right. Milwaukee. We're about
Milwaukee, yeah. I need that Milwaukee flow.
All right, word. We got you.
I need that Milwaukee rhythm. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
What's up?
Let's do it. We did a show in Minnesota once. It was so lit, bro.
Yeah.
You couldn't walk across this from the front to the back of this motherfucker, bro. I'm telling you, you could not walk through the front to the back. It was Earl Sweatshirt. Earl,
Okay. Yeah.
Mike, like Baby Mother. You know what I'm saying? It was lit. They got their real hip hop fans.
They do, man. Rhyme Sayers did a lot of work there for a long time, kind of laid some groundwork and shit. So they kind of got a good file, a good built up in the city. But yeah, hell yeah, they got a good scene.
They got hip hop in that city,
right?
In the that's all the Twin Cities, right? The Lake City, St.
Paul and Minneapolis, Twin Cities. Yeah, you don't find a lot of true hip hop scenes. It's hard to. I feel like they become fewer and fewer. It's you gotta go looking for them nowadays. We had a really good one. I lived down in Savannah, Georgia for a minute in the early 2000s, and that's kind of what actually really kind of put me into just the whole going heavy into producing, rhymed a little bit and stuff. Was just linking up with some friends at it was actually a punk bar called the Jinx, and they did a Tuesday night hip hop night, and my buddy started hosting it right when it started, and over the course of 5 years, that became the biggest night by far for that entire club. Like, we would pack that motherfucker out, and it was just the fun shit. Like, we do everything from battles to alphabet games to just straight up freestyles, have artists, whatever it was, but it was just all organic. It was all true. We'd be rarely coming with written shit. It was kind of just like that old school vibe of you'd get 15 heads in the room just fucking having at it on stage, DJs going at it, and we kind of wing it. But that place would be packed to front to fucking back, and people would just be eating that shit up, man. And it's as you travel a little bit, you try to find those cities where it's like it kind of has that vibe where people are truly there for the music, and a hip hop show goes on and it's going to be packed. So Minneapolis, that's one of them.
Hell yeah, man. And shouts to the hip hop communities, man, because we alive in Web3. Like, people actually, the culture is here, man. We in here. Like, I love it. Like,
and it's so like to me, it's Web3 and hip hop are so synonymous because it is that community feel. Like, that's kind of how this whole thing was built, right? Hip hop was built off of that, and that's the selling point of kind of Web3 is the fact that you look at Gala Music. I mean, the community keeps that thing together. It keeps that thing running. It keeps that thing going. It's the fucking community that shows up consistently. So it's ripe for just straight up bangers, hip hop coming out of it. I hope to see it. Hope to see more of it.
Oh yeah, you know it. It's coming in 2025.
What's up?
Oh,
that's right.
Well, Louis, man, we appreciate your time. It's been awesome chatting it up with you. Hopefully we got a lot more coming up together with you guys in Metaflora. We can maybe get some tracks going, but definitely looking forward to what's coming out of Camp Louis in 2025.
Let's get it, brother. You know it. We're gonna have to update them with the Metaflora collaboration.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? When that comes for all the people and some of the cool stuff that's gonna come out of that, because I'm gonna tap in with y'all off camera to hear a little more about the Web3 side of cannabis and how we can kind of build up a collaboration, because I'm trying to bring stuff like Purple Gorilla Glue. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yo,
let's start it off right away. Let's start working towards it. It's going to take, I can just see this thing having many, many layers to it. So,
well, and even adding, and we've talked about a triple combining the music. Like, if you guys do that, we got to drop a Earthlings and Louis King track that goes exclusively with that. You pick up something off the marketplace, you get an music NFT with it or some shit.
Oh, that famous in the metaverse mud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That mud, they smoking that metaverse mud.
That's what's up.
Yeah, Spacebar and I have been trying to focus in on very innovative ways in order to put these assets together, or utility or token gated membership type of thing, where we're looking at that music, the artist, the cannabis side of things, and then incorporating that all into blockchain and the members and the community and everything all together. Where's the limit? The sky's the limit. We can take it wherever we want to go. So
shit, who knows? Because you know, Corrupt is my dog. You know what I'm saying? My OG.
That's what's up.
Get that metaverse moon rocks going too. Feel me? You know what I'm saying? The sky's the limit.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. All right, y'all. It's good tapping in with y'all. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dave.
Louis King and One Love, Metaflora, famous in the metaverse we own.
Word up, man. Appreciate your time. We'll talk soon.
Let's play it out.